What's going on, everybody? John out here with you. Alec Nava will be joining me. Slight cold, but nothing too crazy, so shouldn't have any problems with the broadcast side. Be able to carry this the whole way through. Alec just joined in, so we'll get him in here now. Let me give you the starting lineups. First, we're going to go with the Boston Bruins, head coached by Jim Montgomery, 9-1-1, first in the Atlantic. That's Pavel Zacha, JVR, David Pastrnak with Hampus Leno and Brandon Carlo, Charlie Coyle, Brad Marchand, Jake DeBrusk with Mason Lohrei, and Kevin Shattenkirk, Matthew Poitras, Tran Frederick, and Morgan Geekie, Johnny Beecher, Danton Heinen, and Oscar Steen. It'll be Parker Wotherspoon and Ian Mitchell on the back end defense, alongside Jeremy Swayman, I believe, is starting today. And for the Dallas Stars, 7-2-1, head coached by Peter DeBoer, it sounds like this: Roope Hintz, Jason Robertson, and Joe Pavelski, Ryan Suter, Miro Heiskanen, Wyatt Johnston, Jamie Benn, Evgeny Dadonov with Thomas Harley, Niels Lundqvist, Sam Steele, Mason Marchand, Tyler Seguin, Ty Dellandrea, Craig Smith, and Joel Hanley. It'll be Essen Liddell and Yanni Hakanpää in the back-end defense with the Otter. Jake Ottinger in net. So 7-2-1 for the Dallas Stars. They're first in the Central. 9-1-1 for the Boston Bruins. They're first in the Atlantic. This is going to be a good matchup here, Alec. What are you expecting?
Like what you said beforehand, this could be a goaltending battle between these two teams. I feel they have been mirror images of one another to start off this young season. Even though their power play has not been where it was for both these two teams, they have been stout defensively and showing in the penalty kill numbers team-wise.
For the penalty kill, you have the best penalty kill in the Boston Bruins and like a top 3 penalty kill for the Dallas Stars. Power play for both of these teams are in the 20s. And we got 32 teams in the league now. So you'd expect that to improve as you go along. If you look at the Dallas Stars, again, you have some players, I'm not going to say slow starts, but you expect them to have more goals. You got Jason Robertson with 2, but he's got 8 points. You got Tyler Seguin, who's only got 1 on the season. Unfortunately for the Stars today, they're going to have to do without Matt Duchene because he got punched up pretty good by Ian Cole for the Vancouver Canucks in their previous game when the Stars lost that one. So they're going to have to deal with some injuries. And for the Boston Bruins, these are just day-to-day, but Milan Lucic, Matt Grzelcyk, Jakub Lauko, and Derek Forbort will all be out. And for the Boston Bruins, they're also coming off the loss of the comeback win for the Red Wings. It was a franchise record 10-game point streak to begin the season. And yes, that includes the Boston Bruins from last year. They did something that they never done this year, but they're coming off a 5-4 loss.
And for how historic the Bruins have been last year, and with their history making this year to begin the season, who would have thought that their first loss, alongside Bates' first regulation loss, would come against the Anaheim Ducks of all teams? I expected the Vancouver Canucks to take the big leap forward, but Anaheim is a different story. Wow.
So Anaheim has won 6 in a row now, correct? They were the hottest team in the NHL.
Yeah, not only that, but they seem to have figured it out with Greg Cronin, their new head coach.
Pretty cool to see. Jeremy Swayman, eye-popping numbers, 5-0-0, 138 goals against, 954 save percentage, and a shutout. The only reason why Elmark looks a little bit worse on that side, still 230, 926. He gave it a 5 on that side against Detroit. For Jake Ottinger, 5-1-1, 198, 938 save percentage as well. No shutouts yet for him. These two teams, they only meet once on both sides of home ice because it's interconference, so you got that split way around American Airlines Center here on this side. So it's going to be Johnny Beecher out of U of M against Wyatt Johnston, 2 of the young-looking players. And we're underway here in Dallas. This is going to be a lot of fun. Again, you don't get an opportunity to watch these teams play that often. Again, the only other time you would see it is in the Stanley Cup final, and both of these teams are probably going to be there at the end of the year. Maybe top 4, top 8, something like that.
Still a possibility between these two teams in this early season. Now, how they start off, they may be primed for that, but who knows? Maybe the Bruins have learned something from last year. Maybe we'll see a deep run. Who knows? Anything is possible.
Anything is possible for both of these very talented squads. That's why we're watching this one today. This is pretty much the best matchup that you're going to get on the docket, as this is pinballed in and picked up by Thomas Harley. Harley trying to get this one across, but it's intercepted. Ottinger has to make the save. He finds it between his legs and then gloves it down.
Oh, this fourth line getting early here for the Bruins, just as Oscar Steen was picking up that puck off the intercept from Thomas Harley. Harley had the right thing in mind trying to clear this puck. He was trying to locate the man over at the neutral zone, but Steen saw it all the way, read it, kept it right in. Good possession there for fourth line for Boston.
As you said, it's a good job by the bottom six. So look at Jim Montgomery over the last couple of days when I saw him part of the Red Wings broadcast, and now the winning percentage for Jim Montgomery over the last two seasons is over 84%. Again, it helps when you have franchise record starting this year and then all of last year when they just blew away the points pace. So Joe Pavelski can't win the draw as it's picked up by DeBrusque and cycled around. It's going to pinball right in front of Robo, but they'll able to shovel this one off the glass as Roope Hintz trying to find him. Now first line's out for Peter DeBoer's squad. And this will fall back to the Bees. Again, they're using their 100-year centennial logo this year. It doesn't change much as far as what you see from the Boston Bruins nonetheless, but it still looks very clean. As this is picked up near the American Airlines Center logo in Texas hockey and wrapped around now. Near the left side dot. A couple of flips at it. Boston's got it now near the right side dot with Brandon Carlo as it comes together with Robo. Try to get picked up by Hintz in his own end as it bounced off a couple of sticks. And now DeBrusque. Go ahead and take his change. Defensive line, everybody's getting changes. 4 out of 5 at least on that side. As this is recollected near the red line side by Pasta. And a momentary freeze in the feed there for the Texas side, but I think we're okay. Is JVR trying to pick this one back around. Here's a slap shot. This one goes wide off the end boards. Now Kevin Shattenkirk for St. Louis Blue as this bounces off the right glove of Ottinger. It's still very busy. Picked up in the high slot. Now Shattenkirk completely fans on. It might have got partially blocked as well. And Dallas able to get this one. Pick it up off the backhand. Now Dallas in full flight. Here's a chance. Here comes a big bomb. This goes off the pad of Swayman and sent all the way back down the ice for Yanni Hakanpää. So 17:55 left to go in the first round. And within the play-by-play being joined by Alec Navas. We're taking this pretty good contest on the Monday night. We'll see what we get between both of these teams. We know the goaltending is absolutely elite. We can get a low-scoring game. Dallas is hot and cold in some of their offense as well. As there's a double team of a hit there. Knocks down former Seattle Kraken number Morgan Geekie. Now this is picked up behind the office of Ottinger. Boston doing a great job forechecking. But now here's an opportunity now for Smith to get this one. Here's an opportunity for Robertson as he gets knocked away for Dellandrea. He gets taken down hard. Dallas intercepts in the offensive end. Miro Heiskanen got a piece of it. And now Boston will kick. They'll cut it off near the right side boards. It's sent down. This will be iced at 17:11.
One thing we want to get to in terms of Dallas sports about the Texas Rangers winning the World Series. It was being called the clinching game in Game 5, but it has to be a good feeling for DFW sports fans.
Yes, it does, my friend, on that side. And it was a really good game all the way to the end of it. Arizona was trying to stay underneath it, and they got a chance, did the Rangers, at the very end of the ninth to do it again. And as we talked about Marcus Semien before we switch back into our game, he's really percolated those last couple to help the Rangers win the World Series for the first time in, 63 years it was?
Yeah, their 63-year franchise history dating back to when they were the second coming of the Senators. Semien, who struggled all postseason long, he finally found his stride in the World Series. Good for him to see. Yes, indeed.
So Charlie Coyle going to try to win a defensive zone draw, but he can't do it. Now Ryan Suter. Here comes a big slap shot for Heiskanen, and this one is saved, and we'll do it again.
And the Stars know what they did when they picked Heiskanen third overall. For moments of getting clean shots off with one-timers from the blue line. He got a clean look there. Unfortunately, didn't get a deflection right in front, but still a good sight for Heiskanen.
I know when you talk about that, I always mention in between Robertson, Heiskanen, and Ottinger in the same draft several years ago. This one's iced, but I mean, it's not often you get 3 franchise-altering players in the same draft, and Dallas is going to use that to propel them, I think, for seasons to come now.
And they will, between D3 and Jason Robertson up in the first line for everyone involved here in Dallas. This is really good for Jim Nill. Really good finds for him, especially Heiskanen in the third round, and then Ottinger as the franchise goalie.
So I know Ottinger is still very young. And again, some people will say, kind of question how good he is as far as franchise level. I'm with Alec on that. So I think Jake Ottinger is the real deal. And as he continues to get more seasoning, he's going to consistently be in the top 5 as far as Vezina voting, as far as I'm concerned. That's how good he is. As this is Marchand trying to get this one back to the defensive side here for Carlo. This bounces off the Stars, but it'll go back to Brandon. We'll cycle this. In the left side D and play crisscross. Carlo will fire it at the net. And Ottinger, all sorts of traffic there, but he just gets a flubber of a shot and holds on.
That is not an easy save to make by any means. Even though it came from a long distance, there was traffic right in front. And for Ottinger to see that through, that was not an easy save to make. Good job of the hand-eye.
They're showing his career against the Bruins 1-1-1 with a 198 and a 934 on that side. So he does not give up much. And again, when you think about the Bruins and Jake Ottinger coming in here, he's playing against the elite of the elite at all times because how good Boston's been. We'll see if anyone gets kicked out of the draw. Roope Hintz, that'll be a disadvantage there for Dallas Stars, but then here comes Joe Pavelski on that side. So it pays to have a couple of centers there. And this is picked up off the referee's skates, and this will try to be Carlo, trying to get a piece of it. Spinning around, Joe Pa trying to locate it. That's Lindell. We'll get this one back in the neutral zone. Here's Robo now. There's a crisscross pass and a good save for Swayman near the right side of the dot. And this gets picked up now off the backhand as it's intercepted. Wrong guy to give it to, and Pasta. And a rip of a wrist shot goes up and out of play.
Both goalies getting tested early here with some wide open looks from both teams. One from Thomas Harley, the other from David Pastrnak. And Harley kind of fanned on that shot. But on the other side, Lindell with the stick block to prevent them from getting all the way to Ottinger. Both these teams really holding up defensively. The last time I saw the Bruins, I saw that they took on a more defensive identity to make up for the loss of offensive talent from last year. And to see about them with the defensive identity that they have embraced, they want to emphasize that this year.
I like that point by you, and then I also like that pick out of Lindell on that play against David Pastrnak. You got to be able to get a stick in the lane, and he did that beautifully. Tyler Seguin can't on the right side wall. Here's a power move to the net. There was all sorts of Dallas Stars there. Hampus Lindholm a little bit shaken up. Might have a penalty hand in the air from what I saw. Here's an opportunity now for the Bees as they got this near the right side. Beecher trying to provide a screen. Steen also there. I don't know how Ottinger could even see. This gets picked up now for the Bruins. So Dallas will go to the first penalty of the game when they touch the puck, as this is now near the left side dot. Now to the right. Boston doing a great job moving this as we get the overhead cam on the Bally Sports West side. Flipped up, jumped out of the air, and now finally touched by Dallas, but they're going to the kill.
Yeah, I don't know how Ottinger was able to even see through that traffic. I mean, he was surrounded by his own teammates and several Bruins alike. I mean, it felt like a traffic giant, and like it's the rush hour every morning.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous on that. So I'm going to make sure if I can pull up this part of the box if they show it. But I haven't got the official name in the box yet, but this is going to be a Boston Bruins power play. Opportunity. Tyler Seguin's going to the box. He can't believe it from his body language.
I don't know what the penalty is about, but Dallas, they're just as equally equipped on the PK as Boston is. 2 top 3 units, and Dallas has killed out 34 of 36. That's an absolutely elite unit.
It's absolutely ridiculous. In Boston, something's got to give on the power play. 6 out of 36, 21st on 32 teams. We'll see what they can do. This could be a very stingy game, but Alec and I are definitely going to be here for it on that side. There's an opportunity. Brad Marchand has it now. He'll spin. Make a nice pass across for Pavel Zacha. It's not Shattenkirk. Moving on for Pasta. Oh, this goes off the side of the post, I think. Here's another opportunity for Pasta. I thought that was in, honestly, as it spins around for JVR. And now an opportunity for Pavel Zacha as it's Marchand. He'll spin. He'll hold the blue line side, work his way to the right dot. Here's Zacha as JVR tries to work him behind the net, but good defense by Dallas to keep them on the outside. Now Kevin Shattenkirk into the screen for Marchand, but it bounces off his skate. Opportunity now for JVR to locate it and for Shattenkirk again. He will drag that blue line. Leave it here for Zacha. Zacha near the right dot. He'll fake a pass. Marchand has it now near the right side red line. Trying to keep it off his backhand. Shovel it out in front, and Ottinger gets a glove on it.
Oh, that was a very close call for Pasta. I honestly shots. But man, this rang off the outside the post. That could have been inches away from giving the first Stale County count for the Stars. That was just mere inches away. Then we get this little traffic jam right at the end of things to cause a little scrum. I honestly am curious about the decision by Jim Montgomery to put Kevin Shattenkirk as the primary power play quarterback, but let's not forget, this is game number 3 of the 4 game suspension from Charlie McAvoy.
Right. That's not somebody that you can easily replace. And again, you'll have to move the lines as you go along. Why? How's it now for Jake DeBrus? Get the second power play line side. Here's an opportunity for Matthew Poltrot, but he can't hold it. Now it goes back to Laura. Here's a chance for Poltrot. Now Laura over near the right side, dot for DeBrus. And Boston's power plays look pretty good so far, but a save for Ottinger.
The bend but don't break approach for Dallas here on this PK. Even though Boston's been buzzing left and right on this power play, the Bruins have gotten the better of the opportunities on the Stars throughout this man advantage.
That previous shift for an opportunity for Pasta, that ring the right side of the pipe. I mean, that was in tight. It was a perfect shot. A lot of power on it, but just hit the side of the bar. Kevin Shattenkirk now has in his own end as Swayman takes a look. It's been all Boston on this power play, but they haven't scored yet. Pavel Zacha with speed. He's already back out there. Shattenkirk and now for Marchand. As we'll get this back here for Kevin Shattenkirk and now Brad Marchand near the right side dot. Back to Shattenkirk, high slot. Here's a bomb. This is saved with the left foot of Jake Ottinger, and now it's an opportunity here for Pasta. Now Shattenkirk, they want to give it back to Pasta. He'll keep this with one hand. Is able to get this now for Zacha. Now Kevin Shattenkirk, he'll fire into the screen. It's blocked by a host of Stars. Marchand tries to locate it, and Dallas returns to full strength. But I'll tell you honestly, if Boston can do that a couple more times, they should feel pretty good. I think we're going to break, though.
Yeah, the Bruins can put in more effort on the power play like this. They'll be getting more confidence as the season goes on. Another big boost when they get McAvoy back as he is serving game 3 of his suspension because of that illegal check to the head on Oliver Ekman-Larsson. But losing McAvoy would 10 out of 10 times be a big loss, along with the rest of the opposite talent from last year. Doesn't seem to bother the Bruins so far this season.
No, it kind of seems like the system and everything else that's been instilled has worked really well, Alec, on that side. I know we can talk about last year and what happened with the Florida Panthers. It was a 7-game series and this and that. And there could have been a lot of panic button reactions as far as Jim Montgomery and is he the right guy for the job and all that. Well, going into this season, I don't think anybody expected the Boston Bruins to start the year 9-1-1.
Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen either. I thought that the Red Wings were the first legitimate test, along with the Panthers. They fought very hard against both of these two teams, beating the Panthers in overtime and a little bit of revenge, even though it may not be a playoff game, but it's got to count for something. It has to count every point being of utmost importance and crucial down the stretch if the Bruins want to defend the Atlantic Division again. I don't expect them to repeat a 65-win season again because that's near impossible to occur. But a 50-win season would be respectable.
Yeah, you'd have to think so. Again, for Patrice Bergeron, the David Krejci, and then you go for Matthew Poltrot and Johnny Beecher on that side. Look, I know Poltrot's had a great start to the year. Johnny Beecher's still really young. He's playing on the fourth line side, but they're both centermen. They have to go ahead and fill roles. And I think that they're doing a good job. And even some of the other guys, even though Parker Wotherspoon is like a 26 or something like that, rookie on that side. He still got designation. Morgan Geekie was a good pickup. Nothing was flashy for the Bruins, but everything has worked pretty well right now. And for Brad Marchand, look, I know he got a little fiery there against the game with the Red Wings and hit Larkin in the back and stuff like that he does. Again, you're having some comments between Jimmy Benn and Marchand right on cue, but he was fit to be the next captain of the Bruins, and I think he had to be that guy. He's the one he needed to pick.
And it feels like the right choice for the Bruins to pick him. If he was on any other team, that team picking him up would instantly get used to him and warm up to them. He's the guy that everyone else hates, but the team that has him loves. Kind of like Draymond Green in the NBA.
Yeah, I think that's a very apropos comparison. Brad Marchand has been one of the best for a long time. Swayman! He falls down behind his own net. This could be a problem. but he was able to get back to his feet. What was going on over there? As this is cleared now, back into the neutral zone, he just went to go play a puck, and mercurially, he just falls down. That's normally a play that you never see. And now Boston has this in the offensive end, near the right side dot. This will go D to D, but this can't be kept in. And now Boston Bruins have to check back up Robertson with a stick check, but this goes back into the center ice logo of the Dallas Stars. Here's a battle now for Harley. Harley now will get this to the left wing side for Robo, but good contest there by the Bruins to throw it back in. And Jake Ottinger will leave it here for Harley, his defensive mate. Now Robo with a sauce pass. This goes up the window now for Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen now will wrap this one back in the net as Swayman will take a look at it. Wish his heart's probably stopped skipping a few beats after almost having a volley behind his own net. This is opportunity for Trent Frederick, which bounces off his skates and now near the right side of the glass, and the play will be blown dead as it's played with a high stick.
I don't know what in the literal green grass went on behind the net or Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah.
I know he was trying to play the puck, and I don't blame him for doing so in that case, but that was just a routine play, in my eyes, a routine play gone wrong for Swayman. Jeez, it could have been worse.
Yeah, and the Dallas Stars music that they're playing with Swayman behind the bench, they were kind of doing a little bit of the joking side of it, which is just kind of slipped out a banana peel back there or something, and it was almost a disaster, but he gets back into the net.
Oh, you gotta remind me of Mario Kart already.
Yeah, right. So Jamie Benn, going to try to win a defensive zone draw. Again, if anybody ever gets kicked out of the draw for Dallas, they carry multiple centermen on that same line, so it's never a problem. You got Benn, Pavelski, Sagan. You can mix anybody in there on that side. They can definitely win draws. This is picked up now in the defensive end. Opportunity for Brad Marchand. Try to get this one for DeBrusque. Here's a nice back pass as Shattenkirk able to find the entry now near the right side wall. And we'll see who picks this one back up. It'll be an opportunity for Evgeny Dadonov. We'll just bank this off the defensive window and hit the kick play. Dallas will try to get going right to left. They are in the victory green with the black pants and the green stripe. And Wyatt Johnston gets his wrist shot partially blocked and then loses his stick trying to dodge a hit. As this is try to get cleared, but it's not. As this is flipped back in behind the net, there's a broken twig right in the middle of the right circle. Loose out in front, what a save by Swayman. An opportunity now for Heiskanen to pick this up. As Heiskanen now one-handed trying to keep this alive. I don't even know how Swayman got a piece of that. That was right in the middle of the circle. It's the best save of the game so far. Harley, opportunity now. Sagan will dump this in, and they'll hold it with the glove hand. My goodness.
We went from a low light to a highlight from Jeremy Swayman. This was an absolute beauty of a save from Swayman on unreliable Craig Smith. He was just all alone coming into this puck, tracked it, found it all alone at the high slot, just fired it, and then Swayman, who saw that Smith was wide open and with an opportunity to shoot it, Smith had the right idea. Swayman with the better save out on top.
That was a great save by Swayman, but you know what? On the instant replay side of it, was a great job by Smith to avoid the stick twig that was broken. He could have got his shot blocked there. On top of that, Harley flips this one. Here's a bomb of a slapper. This goes back off the window. We'll hold on to it, Jeremy Swayman.
For Swayman to have his numbers improve this drastically as opposed to what we saw seen. I know it's early in the year, but Swayman, so far, he's been looking way at Linus Omark's level that he was last year.
And Alec, I mean, I know we're going to get back into the play here, but I thought you're supposed to have a starter and a backup goalie. It kind of seems like the Boston Bruins have two franchise-level goaltenders, does it not?
It feels like it. It feels like they have two franchise starters at the same time. That's not fair.
Robertson trying to go ahead and make a play, but he falls down and behind the own net now. And the Bruins will play this from the left side, get an opportunity for Beatrice. He'll finish a hit. This is near the left side red line now. That's Lindell trying to get in there with Joe Pavelski as well. Lindell trying not to trip anybody on the Boston Bruins. There's a good opportunity. Ian Mitchell, stutter step, trying to keep this alive. He'll just pinball it off Pavelski's skate, working behind the net. Ian Mitchell is still trying to make this work, the former Chicago Blackhawk, as this is picked up near the right side dot. Beecher. There's a cross pass as they go back to the defensive side, going for a deflection. Boston Bruins will be the first to get to it near the right dot. Ian Mitchell now. Beecher scores! Johnny Beecher puts the Boston Bruins up by 1. The former Michigan Wolverine gets the first goal of the game.
Oh, how about that for your first career goal for Johnny Beecher? Welcome to the NHL, young kid. Now, I was looking to see when he is going to get an opportunity in the NHL. He finally earned one this year, and this first goal well earned as he snipes it right over the helmet of Jake Ottinger, finding that empty space. Top shelf, elevates it, and he's going to remember this goal for a lifetime.
That is not a fourth liner's goal. He just post bar down and in over Jake Ottinger's head as he was down in the butterfly. What a ridiculous move on top of it.
Yeah, very ridiculous. A goal scorer's goal to elevate that puck, snipe it top shelf. Nicely done, young kid. He and Matt Pastrnak will be staples on this Bruins franchise on Jim Montgomery's system. I can just feel it.
That's ridiculous because we just talked about the goaltending tandem. I think we're going to be going to break now, but as you said, between Poitras and Beecher, Poitras was another one of those. I think that, make sure I get this correct, and the side for Priest Bergeron might have been a third-round pick. Well, it was the same thing for Poitras. And, hey, you got to go ahead and play in the top 6 and the bottom 6 respectively, and both the young kids are getting it done.
Yeah, these young kids have been looking very sharp, especially Poitras, who, like Bergeron, was a second-round pick.
Thank
who
you.
made it to the Bruins roster as a teenager. How impressive is that?
Yeah, I mean, for the same side of it, when you think about Poitras, it was an opportunity. You get a chance to make the team out of camp because you got to replace Bergeron and Krejci. And then, you know what? You don't have to send him back down to World Juniors. You get your shot. Let's go, kid. Let's see what you can do. And, yeah, the beat keeps on rolling for the Boston Bruins, I guess.
Yeah, everything going positive in the Bruins centennial year. I know there's a lot of talk about last year, but it appears the concerns that they faced heading into the season, they may have answered them.
Yeah, they did. And I feel like this team and the depth and everything else, it's kind of fitting right in. Again, it's early in the year. I don't want to oversell anything, but when you look at the record for both of these squads, you really have to – we already knew this going in, but both of these teams probably feel much better than they expected. They could have imagined because, I mean, come on, 9-1-1 and 7-2-1. That's good starts to the year, and there's certain teams that are supposed to be good this year that we'll talk about in intermission that are not having great starts.
Yeah, we can talk about teams like the Penguins, even though they put up a 10-burger on the Sharks. But nonetheless, the Bruins have to feel more than better about themselves as we're seeing some members of the Texas Rangers in attendance here, including Nathaniel Lowe, the first baseman.
How cool is that? Again, as you mentioned, with the Dallas sports part of it, in between the Stars, the Texas Rangers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Mavericks. I think if you're on that side of it, you're feeling pretty good if you're a sports fan of any of the stuff because all the teams are really competitive and they're all really good. And as we talked about and covered 4 of the games in the World Series with the Rangers, we don't expect them to go anywhere anytime soon, as this is picked up now by the Bruins. Beecher gets the first goal of the game. It was a pretty spectacular one. I'm not even just saying it for a hometown kid for me. Mitchell fires, and this one is up high now play.
I know Mitchell wanted this one, even though he's a reserve defenseman. But reserve defensemen, they can have good looks too. And that is what Mitchell was looking for. He did get a good look, seeing an open part over the far side from where he was shooting.
So we have 9:09 left to go in the first. We're halfway through the first marker. Joining with you on one set. I'll look now. I got the Bally Sports West feed. It's kind of what we're tracking with now. As it's Suter and behind the cage. And Dallas relocate this thing. Dallas again for their record 7-2-1. They've had some games where they've been completely silent, radio silent on offense. Again, the Boston Bruins can do that. This is picked up by Benn. Almost offsides, but Suter able to get a piece of it now. But this It's pinballed off the referee and Kevin Shattenkirk, picked up by Ryan Suter, former Nashville Predator. He's not a top-line defenseman anymore, but Ryan Suter still has an NHL job, no doubt about it. He is pretty good still on that side, but Dallas, as a couple seasons go along, they will be making some more adjustments. This is bounced off of the right leg of Swayman. That was almost an opportunity now, but Boston able to locate it. They're going to try to go left to right. They are in the road whites with the black pants and the mix of yellow and black striping on the pant legs. Robo off the drop, and Roope Hintz tries to gain the entry with speed as it's Joe Pavelski, but this is taken away from him. And now near the right side boards and behind the net. Got to be quick about it, does Boston. There was some traffic back there, but they'll work their way down to the neutral zone with Jake DeBrusk. It's Charlie Coyle on the right wing. There's a saucer pass attempt, but Jake Ottinger finds all the way and holds.
I want to know, if you're a Toronto fan and you're paying attention to the Leafs Bolts game and the Bruins Stars game, you want to wonder if this game is going to have any sort of implication over the long-range side, because the Leafs are down 4-3. They allow 4 unanswered, but they scored 2 of their own in the second period. They're up against the Bolts. They're still losing, but these 2 games can imagine be competitive games and very close ones.
Yeah, I know what you mean there with the Atlantic side of it for the Toronto Maple Leafs, because I think a lot of us, and I'll throw myself on there, I thought the Atlantic would be dominated by the Maple Leafs as a long shot, held there by Jake Ottinger, but the Maple Leafs have been in a little bit of a free-fall mode. I'm not just listening to the Steve Dangle side of it, but when you think about it, I think they're being categorized as soft, so this would be a big win to get on at home ice against the Lightning if they can do it.
Yeah, it's a really big task, but they have pulled off comeback victories on the Lightning before, if you think back to the playoffs and their first matchup against one another. But also when you think of the Atlantic, the Florida Panthers, after going up 3-0 on the Blue Jackets and outshooting them 21-1, it's now a tight game over there. What's happening?
I don't know. We're definitely going to revisit that in the intermission, because I thought I saw 3-0 as well. I look up, it's 3-3. My goodness. So 7:20 left to go in the first. Dallas trying to find it, but they got to go pick this back up and get on sides. Instead, they'll go ahead and take a change as Craig Smith will fire it in. I'll pull up the rosters one more time again. Behind the net, Dallas has it. As this picked up near the right side dot. Opportunity for Boston to work the other way, work their way in the neutral zone now, gain the red line and fire it in. So Jim Montgomery's squad will take some changes. Andre with a conventional play and behind his net, as this is recollected by the Stars. Here's a nice spin from Robo. Now Hintz can give back. Robertson's got it. Goes in between the legs. Swayman is down on his wallet. Makes the save. Harley trying to find it. Hintz will fire. Swayman has been moving all over the ice, but he's found the puck when he's needed to, Alan.
John, I'll tell you, Swayman has been looking sharp whenever he is tested. This is no exception again. And Joe Pavelski, going vintage Joe Pavelski, looked like he's back in a Sharks uniform, going to go stuff this one between the legs, and Swayman falls down, closing the 5-hole. This is beautiful from Swayman.
Joe Pavelski, as you said, the vintage Sharks move there off the backhand, picked up by Marchand. He's going to try to make a move to the net. And now Boston recollect in their own end. How good does it have to feel? Again, we mentioned the 2 goaltenders for Boston. When you have that back end and that stability there, that allows you to play more open on offense when you know the goalie's going to make a great save. Oscar Steen will get this back to the defensive side as they'll crisscross. Opportunity for Ian Mitchell. He's been pretty good so far in this game as he's near the right side of the boards. Pinned up a little bit. And again, as long as the puck's moving, the ref doesn't have to blow us dead. But, Heiskanen trying to find a way to get this loose, but Boston will collect. Opportunity for Steen off the backhand. This is nicely moved here for Mitchell. We'll just wrap this around the end boards again. Boston with unrelenting puck pressure. Right side dot, score! Lorelei! 2-0!
So now we have 2 rookies scoring their first career goals. A big time welcome to the NHL moment, not only for Johnny Beecher, but now the former Ohio State Buckeye, Mason Lohrei. And Lohrei, one of the top prospects with the Bruins from the high slots. This was an absolute ripper. of that's got to get 100%, but because that time it was more of 80% of that shots.
So you're telling me the Big Ten is showing out in a big way, and these rookies are getting it done here. Who are these Boston Bruins? And yet they're up 2-0 on that side. That's got to feel good because this Dallas Stars team is really good. A chance out in front of the net. Opportunity here for Shattenkirk as this is bounced in between Benn. Benn will try to settle it down in his own end. And the Dallas Stars, they're up against it right now. There's still tons of time, but the Boston Bruins, they've got their chances in the slot, and they've taken advantage of near the right side dot. Again, if it wasn't for a Pasta post, that could be 3-0, but at the same time, Jeremy Swayman has made a couple absolute robbery saves where Dallas could easily have this game tied if you want to take the glass half full approach here. But the Dallas Stars in the first period shot differential, courtesy of Bally Sports West, minus 29 on that side. So they do not start on time. Robertson almost runs into his own man with a pass attempt. But Boston will get an opportunity to pick it back up from Shattenkirk and get this one across. In full flight, Boston's got some steam. They gained the entry. There's a hopeful pass in the middle of the circles, but it's picked off there for Harley. Harley waiting for some help. And this is a backhand pass. I'm not really sure why it was made. Boston's got it now. Hampus Lindholm able to gain the entry, but I think we're going to get a offsides call. We're going to go to break nonetheless, but Lorai gets the second goal of the game. Boston up 2-0.
I love how the Big Ten is showing out here in the NHL. No matter who in the NHL is repping the Big Ten, between the Wolverines, the Buckeyes, Spartans, even the Nittany Lions. I got to see some Nittany Lions action in the Frozen Four tournament last year. In between Michigan and Penn State, was down to the wire, went to overtime, and Penn State's goalie Liam Soulier with 41 saves in a losing effort, though Mackie Samoskevich and Adam Fantilli contributed to the winning goals for Michigan there. But not only Beecher, but also Lorai, as we're talking about. Who are these kids, where they come from? Well, the Big Ten, of course. Everything becomes big in the Big Ten.
And you think about, I forgot, Mackie Samoskevich is a member of the Florida Panthers. And I know that there is another Big Ten young rookie. I don't know if he's playing for the Vegas Golden Knights, but a member also as well on that side. So very well represented. But again, as we talked about in this game, and I don't mean it in a disparaging way, but when you talk about all the big-time opportunities for the Boston Bruins and that lineup, they have to score goals, the depth is proving to be big.
Yeah, and the job well done for Jim Montgomery. We know what he can do when he coached the power play with the St. Louis Blues before he came over to the Boston Bruins to be their head coach. And this is still showing that Montgomery is still among the league's elite coaching tier.
I think you have to say it like that, Alec, and I'm glad you did, because, again, when you talk about any of this stuff in the playoffs, I mentioned that earlier in the broadcast, again, fans want to think about things one way or the other, but making the playoffs and winning a series isn't really all that black and white. There's a lot of gray into it. There's a lot of things that get involved because we know how good the Panthers ended up being. Hey, you get in. That's all that you have to do on that side, and matchups and styles make fights. I mean, look at it last year. Boston Bruins, the NHL best, they were beaten by Ottawa 3 times. They were beaten by Florida 3 times in the regular season. They matched up against them well in the postseason. That was a memorable series, as this is picked up off the backhand now. And Boston, an attempt to get this out of their own end. We'll see if Dallas can find a way to get something to feel good about in the first period. Again, a couple excellent stops by Swayman, but they only got 7 shots. Mason Marchman's opportunity, that might count as attempt number 8, as this is flipped down and recollected for Niels Lundqvist. Now Lundqvist will get a chance as this is played off the window for Tyler Seguin. Now Mason Marchman has it now. Fired at the net. Swayman will cancel it over the stick. We got a hand in the air, though, at 3:56. We'll see what the call's on.
It appears there is a booking penalty here in this play from what we're getting from the officials. And it's going to go against Ian Mitchell.
So Ian Mitchell on the hooking penalty. Thank you for that, Al, because it didn't pop yet up on my screen. That's opportunity, as this is real in tight, and yeah, you got the hook right in on the hands, and that's right in front of the zebras. It's going to get called every time.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 times when you have the zebras right in front of you, and they see a hook like that just as blatant as it is from Mitchell. I mean, he basically slowed Sagan down. He was looking to collect his puck. Easy call there.
So can the Stars power play answer against the elite penalty kill of the Bruins? Both of these teams have elite kills on that side. Jamie Benn, one of the only other two players that are left that are grandfathered in without the visors, so that's why you don't see him with that on there. Joe Pavelski has a little bit of words there for the referees. We'll get a chance to do this draw again, and Boston Bruins win it again. But Joe Pavelski now has it, as this is barely kept in by Heiskanen with a stick swipe. Robertson, good touch pass for Hintz. Back to Robo. He can't hold it. Opportunity for Pavelski. Now Heiskanen. Pass across. Here's a bomb. Swayman looks behind him. An opportunity now for Miro. As he'll get this one near the right side down. Here's Robo. We'll settle it down. Work this in behind the net now for Joe Pa. Jamie Benn in tight looking for Roope Hintz. This one gets blocked partially. Jamie Benn now for Miro Heiskanen. Benn located near the left side of the red line. He's getting worked over. Roope Hintz knocks it down with the glove hand. Here's an opportunity for Robo near the right side dot. Trying to force himself to keep this off the backhand and shield with the body, but this goes into center ice. Roope Hintz now. Now for Miro. Here's a sauce pass off the boards for Mason Marchand. He's going to turn around and recollect it. Boston Hyenas on raw hamburger meat right now. They're just getting this puck and taking care of business. Wrap this around the end boards now. Bounces off of Heiskanen. Gloves it out of the air. What a hand-eye play with the stick, but that's going to be blown dead for high sticking. Still love the skill, though.
It feels like we're seeing the old reverse card come to play when it comes to power plays and penalty kills. What we normally see as good penalty killing from these two teams has turned into all-around elite power play maneuvering. Because usually we're seeing two penalty killing galore between them. Now we're seeing power play galore, even though we don't have a goal from either one of these man-advantage units, but they've still been working it off here.
Yeah, I think they have, Alec. I think that's well said on that side. They've had really good shooting opportunities. These goalies have done a great job on that side, both ways across. Even though Injures given up a couple of goals, again, on the power play side there for the Boston Bruins, that could have definitely been worse. It's a 2-0 game. Boston's got the lead. Two Big Ten players got goals on that side. As this is picked up now, near the right side dot, recollected now as Boston finally gets some puck possession. They'll flip this down the ice, and by the time Dallas could even get started, their first power play opportunity is going to be turned away by the wayside. Opportunity now for Thomas Harley, Swayman, making sure there's nothing back there that is going to slip on him behind the net. It was a conventional pass, though. Stars keep it in. Opportunity cross pass. Smith sends it. Swayman hits it with the stick, but this is dangerous and behind the net. Ty Dellandrea has got it now near the right side wall, but they can't hold it in. Stars will gain the red line, though, and flip it in. It's been a well-played game so far, though. Brandon Carlo will get a piece of it now for Pasta. He's wearing the assistant's A on the part of the sweater. Now Pasta will flip it in. He takes a hit across the boards, but keeps it alive and stays on his feet. Be an opportunity now for Pavelski. He was stuck in behind the cage. Works it there for Robertson. Bounces it off of his skate blade, knocks it in the air. Boston will find it in his own end as it bounces off a Beecher. Picked up right in the middle of the slot. Hintz got a ton of speed. He's going to let a wrist shot go. This one goes wide, though. Down to a minute left in the first. It's 14 shots to 11. Kevin Shattenkirk rifles it around the inboards, and it's iced against the Bruins.
Still more chaos in front of Swayman's crease because Dallas, for as much as Boston looked good in this game, Dallas may have been responding with somewhat similar chances that Boston's provided on the other side. And the Stars, these are good chances from them. They just need to find it back in the nets.
So this still looks, again, from what you're saying, Alec, and I'm thinking the same thing. This looks like a game that could still go either way at this point.
It still is. Still up for grabs. A 2-0 lead doesn't settle it.
So Essa Lindell. Shot gets blocked by JVR. Opportunity for Hakanpää. This one goes wide. Now Essa has an opportunity near the right side dot, working their way in behind the net off the half spin, keeping them alive off the backhand of the Stars. Still keeping this with Wyatt Johnston trying to help him out of Evgeny Dodonov. Here's a sauce pass all the way near the right side dot for Hakanpää. Into the traffic. Lindell trying to work this. Dallas says this puck possession, but they can't find a way through. Swayman will find it off the backboards and they'll hold them 22 seconds.
Still, the chances keep on coming for Dallas. Still, they're getting turned away at every turn by Jeremy Swayman. Loving the improvement from both sides, not only from Stars offense, also Swayman. But they need to find the back of the net.
And that last sequence that we saw, Jamie Benn was getting worked over there by Wotherspoon. Anytime they get a chance to keep it clean in front of Swayman, they've been doing so. Jamie Benn had to take about 5 different cross checks on that side. A kick out of the draw will be an opportunity for Pavelski against Sam Steele. Picked up by the Stars. This could be an opportunity here with 15 seconds left. They got this now as this is wristed through the traffic up and on a play.
This time, the Bruins met that chance for the Stars with even stingier defense from their own. Still, as I mentioned, and the Bruins are wanting to embrace a more defensive identity. They're doing that here, and this is with possessions like these on the defensive side.
Yeah, they are. I think both of these teams have played pretty well so far. It's been a good first period for both of these squads. We'll see if the Stars can break through, though. They're down by a couple. Flip down and glove down by Ryan Suter. Sends it to the defensive partner, Miro Haskin. He's got a ton of speed. Keeping it off the backhand. Got to shoot it. And it gets blocked, and that ends the first period. The Bruins take a 2-0 lead to the dressing room.
So far, it's been the goaltenders and the Big Ten. This is quite the first period for Big Ten and watchers here fans of the Big Ten, no matter what college they support.
That was a lot of fun on that side of the period. I'm looking forward to the rest of this game, Alex. I'm glad that you could join me for this one again. How did everything for work go for you? Was it good today?
Yeah, first day was good, and getting used to the surrounding area around in the work period. But so far, I'm enjoying it.
That's good to hear, my friend. I hope everything goes well, and I hope that we can continue to do these broadcasts. It's really just getting underway here in the NHL season. Every team now at double digits as far as games played. Again, I was going to go one way and one way only as far as looking at the scoreboard, but again, you talked about in a finger snap, both of these games on the out-of-town scoreboards have turned right around. It's a 4-3 lead for the Lightning over the Maple Leafs, and what was a 3-0 lead for the Panthers is now 3-3 at the end of the two between the Blue Jackets. But let's start with the Maple Leafs game, if you don't mind on that side. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of the goal scores. So Matthew Nyes gets it started at 342 from Mitchell Marner and Austin Matthews, and then a hurricane of goals from the Lightning, 4 straight. Victor Hedman, Nikita Kucherov with a pair, and Braden Point make it 4-1 after one. But Austin Matthews, holy cow, goals number 12 and 13, 3 minutes apart from 2:22 and 5:42, make it a 4-3 game.
Oh, Toronto may have an answer here, though the big concern is about their toughness. Plus, even though Austin Matthews had a hat trick against the Sabres, the Leafs lost that game. The big question is about how they respond to a loss to Buffalo, taking on Tampa here, if they can pull off another comeback victory on them and possibly another overtime win. They've had 4 straight of those dating back to the playoffs.
So I want to ask you here, because I'm going to look at Toronto's schedule. And again, I've talked about it a little bit, but now's an opportunity in the intermission to get a little bit of a deep dive, because I don't get a chance to do a ton of these games with you on that side. But I need to use the big brain that you have. It's way bigger than mine since you're in here now. We have Toronto had a decent start to the year, right? They had 5-2 to start the year. They did lose a game to Chicago on that side, but it happens. But Toronto's been in a little bit of a free fall here. 4 straight: Nashville, LA, Boston, and Buffalo. And Buffalo, that one was a little bit concerning to me because that was just off a back-to-back. Toronto had the rest. Buffalo came out and scored 6 goals to win the game 6-4. Is there cause for concern? Because I'm hearing a lot of panic in Maple Leaf land.
You know, there has to be some sort of an adjustment because you need to find the right line combos for each one of these guys. See if Tyler Bertuzzi can settle in with John Tavares and William Nylander. Say, I want to put Matthew Nice on that first line of Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. You can alternate between Marner and Nylander on the right wing side for Matthews, see which one is a better fit for Matthews and see which one is better for Tavares. I would say, how about this? Nice, Matthews, Nylander, Bertuzzi, Tavares, Marner. That top six could sound like something.
I think that that's a good call on that side. And again, I saw some of the stuff, and I know Tyler Bertuzzi hasn't had the greatest start. And I hate to use this narrative now, but it's Brad Treliving in Toronto. His big additions were Tyler Bertuzzi, Max Domi, and Ryan Reeves. They're not doing so good right now, are they?
Not really for what they're being signed to. I thought these were additions that I thought would give Toronto a boost on the offensive side, but it doesn't seem like they're fitting in with meshing in thus far. There's still a lot of game left, and there are a lot of games left in the season, but so far it's not looking that good.
And again, from what you talked about, just to play the glass half full approach, because I want to get both sides of the narrative, it is an opportunity here for the Maple Leafs to do what they did in November last year, which is when they went absolutely nuclear and destroyed opponents and then took the Atlantic, because I think they only lost like 2 games in November last year. So they can definitely do that again. The only problem for me when I'm looking at the Maple Leafs right now, if you go ahead and you look at their team, and I go on the CBS Sports side, if you look at the core 4, that's the team that's getting it done right now, but everybody else in the secondary goal scoring hasn't been there.
And you need to get a way to get the secondary scoring up and going, especially Domi, who they've signed to a 1-year deal and getting secondary scoring up. They brought him in from Dallas, and they brought him in for moments like what he's produced with Chicago last season. That's what Dallas traded him for. And then for Toronto to get him to a 1-year deal is a low-risk signing that can bring in high rewards. So the risk is still low. If he underperforms, then the risk of losing him for nothing remains minimal. If he excels, you can keep him, though you're not sure how much he's going to get over free agency next season. Perhaps he could outprice himself from the Leafs' plans in some form, but you need to find a way to get your additions rolling if you're sure to keep the company.
Yeah, you do. And again, I'll just make this point before we switch back over. So new additions, Tyler Bertuzzi, 1 point in 11 games. Again, notwithstanding for tonight. I'm just giving you the stuff from the yesterday's side. John Klingberg, 5 assists and a -6. On that side, Ryan Reeves, no points and a -8 in 11 games. So there has been some things that need to be adjusted. If we're looking at the core 4, as you talk about, Austin Matthews with a couple already. He's got 13 goals already for 17 points. And then Willie Nylander needs a contract on that side. So still a lot left to do here for Brad Treliving and company. But I'm going to go ahead and flip back over. I'll just give you the goaltending side of it. So Jonas Johansson stopped 17 out of 20. And on the other end, Ilya Samsonov was the one that was pulled. 8 out of 12. He gets benched. Sheldon Keefe brings in Joseph Wall. It's 8 out of 8 right now. Is it still a 4-3 game? We're going to be heading into the third period. But we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and we'll focus on the Florida Panthers and the Columbus Blue Jackets, because I want to see just how much this turned around. So as Alec mentioned, early start for the Florida Panthers. They were up 3-0 in the first 6 minutes of the game. Ryan Lundberg, Gustav Forsling, and Alexander Barkov made it 3-0 at 6:09 in the first. But a couple of late answers for the Blue Jackets in the first from Sean Corelli and Boone Jenner. And then Kirill Marchenko on the power play at 10:02 as the latest goal. Big Bob stopped 15 out of 18. And for the Columbus Blue Jackets, it has been, let me make sure I get this correct, Spencer Martin stopped 21 out of 21. But Elvis Merzlikins, he got smacked up pretty good, 8 out of 11. He gets benched for a 7:27.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens to Elvis Merzlikins, because we all thought about a turnaround for Merzlikins going back to rookie form. It feels like we still need to wait for that to happen. And for the Panthers, for a team that has been heavily known as the comeback Cats, not an ideal place for them, but Columbus giving Florida a taste of their own medicine here, especially after getting outshot 21-1. And all of a sudden, Columbus turns
That is crazy to me. Every time you bring that up on that side, I still can't believe that that's the situation. And for Florida, look, we'll just be honest here. Again, you got the big win over the Red Wings. Sergei Bobrovsky stood on his head and got the job done. What yet? My fault on that side of media. Yeah, it is confusing. 2-0 for the Florida Panthers a few days ago for the Florida Panthers against the Red Wings. They did a great job. Sergei Bobrovsky was an absolute machine. But then you lose 5-2 to the Blackhawks. You don't want to drop back-to-back games because you think with the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets, probably two teams that the Florida Panthers should beat.
Yeah, these are two teams that if you're the Florida Panthers, these are still winnable games against the Blackhawks. Yes, I know the Blackhawks, they're up and coming and are a fun, exciting team to watch under Connor Bedard. And everything about what their scandal has been popping up recently, because I know it's all on that front. Though Chicago with Bedard, they're still a team to watch down the stretch. Man, Florida, this makes impose something here because I know dropping one of the Blackhawks may be just a blip at the radar.
Sure.
Against the Blue Jackets, that's a big.
Yeah, you don't want it to become a trend because I completely agree with you. The blip on the radar for the Blackhawks, yeah, that happens. You had an emotional game. I get it. Sometimes things happen. But yeah, you don't want to have that become a trend. I do want to ask you something because we have one other game that's going to be played today in between the Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. I'll play this game on Thursday when I do a game with Cooper Hopkins, but I'll give an early preview here on this side. And how about it, my friend? You know about all the stuff across the NHL landscape. Let's do a little Pacific Division panic index, shall we? So 1 is no panic at all, and 10 is full scale panic. And here's the thing, I might have some numbers on there that you might disagree with, but I think we can have a good discussion with on this side. I'm going to keep the San Jose Sharks exempt. We knew that they were going to be bad. 0, 10, and 1. I'm surprised they don't have at least a win yet, and they've been giving up 10 goals a game multiple times. But is it fair? I'll give the Sharks a pass. I'm not going to put them on the panic index. But let me go ahead and say this. I'm not going to give the Calgary Flames a 10. I'll give them a high number at about 8, but I want to start off with this. What's the panic index for you with the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, a 2-7-1 start. I know if it's one loss, that's a blip in the radar. But when you go 2-7-1, concern has to start brewing here. If the losses start mounting up, it may be full-scale panic time for Edmonton. I'll say at around between an 8 and a 9 for Edmonton because I'm not ready to put it at a 10 if these losses keep on mounting up. But they're getting close to having it at 10 if they don't turn the ship around and to keep Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on board. But I know for a fact that the Oilers, they could turn things around later, but it just doesn't feel that way right here. So
No.
Where is the defense and where is the goaltending? Because we're looking for bounce backs from Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner. It feels like, are we seeing the same goaltender?
Right, and especially it's alarming because you and I completely agree with Jack Campbell. I'm not saying he's poor, but the stuff with Toronto, we kind of seemed like, yeah, when there was structure in front of him, he could be decent. But we knew probably decent was Jack Campbell's best level. But for Stuart Skinner last year, he got an all-star nod halfway through the year. He's not been good at all on that side. And again, we already knew about the Oilers. You bring in Matthias Ekholm from last year. You try to make sure the defense gets better. You're absolutely correct. That defense has been non-existent. I'm going to go ahead. You're almost at, you said 8 to 9.5 at most. I'm going to go 10 for the Oilers right now. Only because this was a team right at the forefront that were Stanley Cup winner predictors to at least be in the final side of it. They couldn't afford to get off to such of a poor stretch. And when I'm thinking about other teams that are getting it done in the division on that side, look at the Vancouver Canucks and look at what they've done. You have Rick Tocchet in a whole situation where, yeah, we knew they had some scoring talent, but they weren't going to do as much as the Oilers did as far as their scoring talent. The Oilers, they've looked really, really bad. And I saw the quote from Connor McDavid right now, and he said it's really kind of death by 1,000 cuts. One mistake turns into another. and we're just not playing well right now, and we're in a little bit of a funk. And when you already don't have secondary goal scoring, and Draisaitl and McDavid aren't playing at the elite of the elite level, this is why the Oilers are where they are. So I will go 10 with them. Can they turn it around? Yes. It's only 10 games, but I think the panic has definitely set in, and it's set in pretty well. I want to go to another interesting team on this side, the Seattle Kraken. Which way do you want to lean on this? Because the first year, it was a complete expansion type year. And you go ahead and get Matty Beniers, you get everybody else acclimated. You make that run, you get to the second round before you lose to Dallas in 7. It could be an on again, off again type season, but where are you putting it for the Kraken 1 out of 10?
You said it perfectly that this could be an on again, off again type of year for Seattle. Even though they're 4-6-2, we just don't know where exactly they're headed. Let's say somewhere around the middle, say a 4 or a 5 for Seattle, if we're going that way for the Kraken, because we know Matty Beniers has been struggling. We know he's developed a 200-foot game with the Kraken under Dave Haxtell, but we need to see if Seattle can do this on a consistent basis. I'll leave it in the middle of the pack, then I'll revisit this for further judgments.
I'm going to second you completely. I'll put this at a 5 for the Kraken, only because that there was expectations to feel like they could still be pretty good. We still think the roster is really good regardless of their start. I don't have any concerns. If the Kraken have an off year this year, let's say they don't make it, I don't think fans are going to go completely one-sided against this team, because I'd fully expect, Alec, next year that the Kraken would right the ship. So, again, this isn't a panic situation, but here's a number that I never thought I would say. The Anaheim Ducks in the Pacific Division, on a panic scale, they're at a 1. They're sipping Mai Tais on the beach with their best friends, and they're eating some good food, and they're completely on a vacation stay. They've won 6 in a row, my friend. They've already beaten the Boston Bruins and the Vegas Golden Knights.
And that just snapped their undefeated streaks as well. They're just cruising right through the Pacific West Coast on a boat with Mickey Mouse and friends. You know, Anaheim is close by Disneyland. Everything coming to fruition for Greg Cronin, Leo Carlson, Mason McTavish. I want to see more from Trevor Zegras, though.
Right. And it's amazing, as you said, that they've still won 6 in a row, and yet Trevor Zegras has been pretty silent on that side. So we'll see if this all continues on that side for the Ducks. But again, they've been really good. And the one thing that we found out with the Ducks so far this year is they're not afraid to be able to play their game, and they can score some goals. I mean, they started the year 1-4, and you kind of thought that it would go the same way. And again, their next opponent is someone that you know very well in the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think Pittsburgh has got to look out a little bit for the way the Ducks are playing.
I mean, with how the Penguins gave up a last-second goal to the Ducks, short-handed after we could not convert on a 5-on-3, we indeed have to look out for these Ducks. This year, we may need to see further down the stretch if they are the real deal or if it's just a flash in the pan. But with how the Ducks are playing, this is a good team once again. They're back to respectability like it's the Getzlaf and Perry days.
It is. And I want to go ahead and I want to make this point to you. I know you already know this, but I'll bring this in for the viewers at home or anyone listening way between the Twitter next space or the YouTube side. So look, the 3 worst teams in the NHL right now, as far as the standings, they're all in order. San Jose Sharks, Edmonton Oilers, and the Calgary Flames. San Jose's 0-10-1. Edmonton's 2-7-1. Calgary is not much better at 3-7-1. What do they have in common with the Anaheim Ducks? They're all in the Pacific Division. And when you think about, and I click on the versus division side of it, that's 3 teams, not completely out of it yet, but they've buried themselves to maybe make it where they might not make the playoffs. Again, the Kings have been good. We'll talk about them in a minute. You have the Canucks and the Golden Knights, but this is the point I'm going to make. With the Flames, Oilers, and Sharks off to a rough start, Anaheim could fight for a playoff spot if they keep playing this way.
And if they can keep this up with how they've been playing throughout this early portion of the season, and them and the Vancouver Canucks, we can see both the Ducks and the Canucks in the playoffs to knock it all out.
Yeah, that would completely turn everything by the head. And I do want to ask you this because I know I'll ask Cooper this on Thursday, but I don't want to skip over the Flames. 3-7-1. Again, that Heritage Classic didn't look all that good. They did get the win in the last game. They will be in action tomorrow against the Nashville Predators, but the Seattle Kraken will be getting underway in a minute. But Calgary Flames, I'm going to put that at about an 8, honestly. That doesn't look very good right now.
It doesn't. So, yeah, we're getting back here in the second period.
So I'll flip back into this now, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the intermission. We'll get to the late game side of it. So the Boston Bruins, that kind of flew by the intermission side of it. My goodness. 2-0, about 19:35 left to go in the second as this is picked up now for Marchand. As they flip sides, a big opportunity now for Lohrei to fire this at the net. He's already got one. Again, Johnny Beecher and Lohrei have the goals for the Boston Bruins. Again, between the Michigan Wolverines and the Ohio State Buckeyes, respectively. That just brings a smile to my face on that side. But if you're Boston, it just the beat goes on, as we talked about. This is picked up now off the forehand opportunity. Opportunity for Pasta, as he's patient, waiting for everybody else to get on side. It kind of looked like Boston was offside, had a stick up in the air with a skate blade. And we have a cross-checking penalty, I believe, upcoming. We're 19:01 in the second. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's going to get this penalty that we're seeing here. It might not be because David Pastrnak might have stumbled after taking this shot on a nice feed from JVR. There's no penalty, by the way. No penalty at all, even though it seemed that Pastrnak might have got knocked down by Essel Lindell. They're not going to call it.
That's what I thought I saw that was going to be called for sure. Essel Lindell might have got away with one there, as this is picked up now near the right side board, so my apologies. 18:45 to go in the second. John here with you alongside Alec Nava. It's a 2-0 lead for the Bees against the Stars now. Again, it's opposite side of the conferences, so both teams being on home ice once. As this is picked up off the forehand. And now Robertson, Roope Hintz. Two lefties, they'll play crisscross. And here's a hopeful pass, but this is easily intercepted by the Bees. Have this now near the right side boards as this is picked up. Essel Lindell will slam this all the way down across the red line as it's picked off by Boston again. Good defensive side for the Bees so far. And again, with a 2-0 lead, the Stars can do the same on defense, but now they need some goals. Robertson, good save by Swayman as he closes the 5-hole near the right side dot. Harley will send this out in front, but JVR is right there. Pick it up now. He's still going to stick handle, send this one across here for Pasta. Picked up here for Pavel Zacha. He's on the first line center now. Former New Jersey Devil. As this is recollected near the left side dot. In the offensive end for Boston, as this is trying to get picked up by Thomas Harley. Sagan will recollect it. Slam this in off the window. JVR will pick this up for Pasta. Here's a ripper of a wrister. And this one goes back to the right side D. So Pasta's already had a couple chances. And he's already hit a post as well. And Boston's still up 2-0 despite any of the big guys scoring here. Sagan will recollect. Boston fan wants a penalty there for visiting. He's not going to get one. Now Wotherspoon will send this one across. Be an opportunity now for Boston as they'll recollect off the backhand. Keep this in the left side blue line. Now working near the left side dot. Good puck possession so far. Not really contested as Johnny Beecher has it now, trying to pick it up off the backhand and send this running behind the net. Boston still locating as Oscar Steen overskated it, and they'll hold it into the Bees. Now near the left side of the red line. This will be picked up here for Heiskanen momentarily, and now finally flipped down into the neutral zone, but Boston will get to it again. Dallas trying to make something happen there with Craig Smith off the one. Forecheck forces a steal. Dellandrea shoots it way wide. And this will fall back to Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen now will pick it up here for Robo. Crisscross for Smith as they mix alliance for Peter DeBoer's squad. This goes off of Swayman's left pad and sent in. Now in behind the net of Swayman. We'll take a look at it near the left side of the post. Hakanpää overskates it as Boston tries to get it out of there. Charlie Coyle will take a look at it as this is in behind the net. They're working behind the cage of Swayman off of a long flip. This will work out beautifully for Boston now. Jake DeBrusk trying to use the right hand to hold off Ryan Suter. as this is just kept in near the left side of the blue line. As we had a little bit of an overhead cam. DeBrusque send this one across for Hampus Lindholm, former Anaheim Duck. I'll fire this in. Jim Montgomery's squad's going to need some changes. We've had some non-stop, unabated play, not a lot of action just yet because Boston's been putting the hammer down defensively. Trent Frederick now will send this into the neutral zone, right side. Gain the entry off the drop pass. Playing off the backhand, Postrnak. He'll make a spin to Carlo. He'll fire it wide. Hampus Lindholm will recollect. Be an opportunity now for Hakanpää and Dadonov. Trying to locate this now. There's Dallas in their own end, but Dallas has spent a lot of time in their own end right now. Picked up as Ottinger takes a look off the backhand. This is almost contested, but it's cleared down the ice. It'll be a race for the puck. Teams are probably on the end of a shift there. Dadonov gets shoveled aside by Lindholm. This gets bounced up in the air. Now the Stars all of a sudden have it in the offensive end. They finally get a chance to touch this puck for a minute, but Boston will find it. Backhanded play. Shovel it in off the kick plate and send it in deep. 15 shots to 13. No score yet here in the second period. No goals. 2 goals in the first. Robertson. Good touch pass. And what a stop by Swayman.
That's a nifty move by Roope Hintz. I love this backhand, forehand move whenever you're a forward going out to the ice, getting a touch pass with Jason Robertson. And, oh, man, if only he could have hung on to that for just a split second longer. This would have been a pretty goal from Roope Hintz if he held on to that puck. But he unfortunately lost it at the last second. Man, I was getting ready to jump on my feet.
That was a combo play from a great sauce pass out of the air from Pavelski to Robertson, and a kind of a no look there for Roope Hintz right in front of the net against the green. Swayman said no on the opportunity. Centered out in front. Swayman finds it, and we get a little bit of chaos there. Some Stars are knocked down, but the play's blown dead. Roope Hintz a little bit slow to get up.
Hintz was on the receiving end of back-to-back plays from Robertson being the intended target. It was Robertson actually running into his own man, Hintz, on some incidental friendly fire between these two linemates. Not what they had in mind, but Hintz with 2 good looks.
Starting to get some of the good opportunities for the big boys there, and as you said, that was some incidental contact. That was a good eagle eye there as Robertson trying to get in and get a rebound, accidentally knocked down his own man, and Roope Hintz has it now. First line still out there. Joe Podge trying to get the crisscross pass from Robo and sent back around the inboards by Roope. As this is Suter. Heiskanen with a ripper. This goes lively off the inboards, but Boston able to get a couple sticks out in front of it. Heiskanen touch pass near the left side. Dot and Robo's got it. Opportunity now for Miro Heiskanen. He's going to turn on the Jets. He's going to work wide. He'll fire a shot. This bounces off of Hintz. Man, he is slow to get up. He's taking a hit from Robertson, and then he took a shot from Heiskanen off the puck. My goodness, it's been a tough shift, and they're going to blow the play dead. I hope that Roope Hintz is okay.
Oh, that stung. That stung if you're Roope Hintz. Not only with one instance of friendly fire with that shot from Robertson, but also blocking your own guy's shot from Miro Heiskanen. This has got to hurt. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, you never want to see that situation. And for Roope Hintz, again, I'll just say this. I think I have to say it the right way. He's finally getting the level of expectations from fans that we knew that he could do on that side. And what I mean by that is his level of play has been absolutely elite. He's one of the fastest guys in the league. He had a little bit of an injury to start the year, but his 200-foot game, his scoring ability, his face-offs, defense, everything is elite for Roope Hintz.
Yeah, everything is still there for him, and they need this down the stretch because I know the Stars, they've scored at will last year, but that same pace hasn't been there this season, and they need guys like Hintz if they were to keep on going at the rate that they're going from.
Again, no Matt Duchene tonight. He would be one of those pieces that could continue to provide some offense. So it's going to give more looks for Sam Steele and Ty Dellandrea on the bottom 6 side of the forwards. Again, no problems for me for Roope Hintz and Jason Robertson and Joe Pavelski on that first line. They've been mainstays over the last couple of years. But you do notice when you see somebody like Duchene out of the lineup, that does put a little bit of a damper there on the secondary goal scoring.
And not just Duchene, but they don't have fourth-line center Radek Faksa on there also. That's why they're forced to go 11 forwards and Joe Hadley as the seventh defenseman. It seems Hintz is on the bench after blocking Hintz getting shots on some friendly fire on the knee. Ouch.
So he gets cross-checked by Carlo, almost gets whacked by the stick, and then he gets blocked from a shot on that side of friendly fire. Roope Hintz over the last couple of minutes and what he's had to deal with. He's in some pain, and I think he's going to need to take a couple of shifts. You could tell on his face he's trying to shake it off, but he's in some severe discomfort.
Yeah, you can feel the pain with the face on it, the facial expression. It feels like his time may be limited here. Perhaps some more looks, perhaps for Tyler Seguin or Jamie Benn or Wyatt Johnston.
Yeah, that could be what's in the cards. Here's a long wrister. It's Harley. This one goes off the inboards now. Seguin trying to find it. So good look on what Alec was just bringing to the forefront here. You might have to see more from Seguin and Benn in the interim in the next 5 or 6 minutes here. Simon finds it with the glove hand and holds it. Wasn't particularly dangerous.
So with that in mind, we can take a look over the out-of-town scoreboard for just a moment. How about 2 goals in 8 seconds for the Maple Leafs as they have taken their first lead since the first period? Calle Jarnkrok, followed by Mitch Marner. And how about a point for the other Robertson, Nick?
Yeah, Nick Robertson's a pretty good one as well. So we will continue to monitor. Both of these score lines may be reversed in my eyes for what I would have thought. And we will see if that continues going forward. Face-off win on the offensive end for Seguin. This is near the right side dot now. Yanni Hakanpää will look at it. Roope Hintz is back out there. He just sent this back around Hakanpää through the traffic. And a rebound opportunity bounces off the Bruins. And they'll get this now. As this is a sauce pass out of the air. And this was almost played into the net with a hand-eye coordination for Carlo. Now the right side boards. And the play is blown dead. There are a host of Bruins and Stars as Potra is checking the chicklets there for a second.
It seems that this may be a penalty on, I believe, Yanni Hakanpää. Yet he's favoring his mouth, and it feels like Hakanpää is going to be the one that's the guilty party here. Boston back to the power play, and that is the right call because you can look at Potra's reaction. That Hakanpää basically cross-checked him and right into the boards. I believe is 2 for 40.
Yeah, you could have called, from what I saw, you could have called a high stick to the face of Potra, the boarding there. There was all different kinds of opportunities that could have been called. The one thing that we know for sure, Boston is on the power play. That's what they should have had at least. So Ty Dellandrea are going to try to win one off a kill, but he can't do it against Shattenkirk's got it now. Pavel Zacha try to get this in between the circles. Good traffic out in front now. Marchand has it near the right side dot. He'll sauce it. This one will work its way out officially. They got Yanni Hakanpää with a high stick against Brandon Carlo at 7:26. It's on the ESPN side of it. Pavel Zacha gets us near the right side red line. Pastrnak, Marchand, and this is a little bit too far, and it will allow the Stars to flip this one back down the ice. And again, both of these goals, and between Johnny Beecher and Mason Lohrei, 10:21 and 14:09, both even strength. The power plays have not struck yet for either team. Their penalty kills are elite, well over 90%. Marchand takes a tumble as this is picked up by JVR. Work this around the inboards now for Shattenkirk, and they'll do the same near the right side dot. A little more window dressing in this power play. No chances yet. Shattenkirk near the left circle, fought off by Odger, bounced up in the air. This is going to allow the Bruins to settle it back down in the high slot. Shattenkirk for Marchand. Now an opportunity for Shattenkirk in the high slot. Goes back to Brad. Got near the right side dot, looking for a cross crease pass, but this finds Ottinger.
Possession numbers on the man advantage is what make power plays like these of high importance for the Bruins. And for how they did in the first man advantage, they said that if they continue having efforts like what they had in the first power play, they would continue to get more opportunities like these.
Yeah, they're essentially, Alec, playing keep away, hot potato type action on this power play. Again, the puck moves faster than the man can on that side. And in that situation, they're playing keep away. But here's a good opportunity for Dallas off of a clear. Now they have this. They can kill some time. They're going to fire this near the outside of the post. They just try to kill about 20 seconds of the Boston power play. But post drop gains the entry now. Use the right side wall and wrap this around the inboards. 10:45 to go on the second. And another call as Sam Steele gets taken down. We're going to have 4-on-4 for 14 seconds.
Yeah, Hampus Lindholm caught Sam Steele up high right into the face area. For how Lindholm has done this season, it's been the drastic drop. It's been a drop-off from what we've seen. I almost said drastic drop-off, but we have to wait and see for what Lindholm does here. But we don't expect to see from Lindholm like what we saw from last year. But he's not off to a good start. Just 1 point through 11 games, and already he has another penalty on his disposal. Not a good time to take a penalty. You do not want to give the Stars back momentum.
No, and for Hampus Lindholm, again, he's a top line pairing defenseman, regardless of any NHL team that he's on. He's definitely going to pick it up. Again, no Charlie McAvoy. When you're playing with somebody like that, that definitely makes your numbers better. And we would expect Hampus Lindholm to improve because he has to on this side. We'll do the draw again in the defensive end of the Bees. Again, 4-on-4 for 14 seconds and then an abbreviated power play for Dallas. We'll see if anyone can break through when it gets to the man advantage situation against either one of these stingy kill teams. As it's down to 2 seconds on the 4-on-4 and now shorthanded, but it's Brad Marchand and the offensive end trying to make something happen. But this falls to Ottinger and now Robertson as this is nicely picked off in the neutral zone. Now Marchand turns it over right to Miro Heiskanen. And they'll go ahead and take some changes here. Heiskanen's got it now. Jamie Benn, the captaincy for the Dallas Stars. Back to Miro. Send this here for Robo. Again, 4 forwards, 1 D. That's what Dallas likes to use, what a lot use on the power play side of it. Jamie Benn, as he tried to slide it through, but I'm not really sure why. Joe Pavelski now near the right side dot. Pavelski, as this is pinned against the wall. Boston Bruins are just not giving the Dallas Stars any space to operate for the most part in this game. Even though Swayman's had a couple of great saves, they still got to test him a little more as this game goes along. Heiskanen now for Robertson. Near the right side boards. It's Jamie Benn. Here's an opportunity for Hintz, and this one is off the shoulder, not a play of Swayman.
So I'm having some trouble connecting right to ESPN Plus right now. But so far, Dallas on the man advantage. It seems that they're getting some good looks from what they're going through. So, but the Boston may be one step ahead of them with what they've been providing.
Yeah, the defense has been there. It's been the blanket. Again, there was one opportunity for Roope Hintz across, but it was canceled off by Swayman. We'll see if that continues. I can pick up everything else until you can reconnect on that side. Hopefully you can, because this is a good game. This is picked up now for Wyatt Johnston. Johnston will look to gain the entry. He'll sauce it here for Mason Marchand near the right side boards. Off the spin, trying to hold off the backhand late from Miro Heiskanen. Marchand gives another right side dot. Shot goes wide as the referee gets out of the way. Miro Heiskanen now for getting to Donov. Right circle wide. Johnson power move to the net. This one is off the stick shaft of Swayman. That was a really good opportunity for Dallas. The Donov finds it. He slaps it. This one goes wide. Mason Marchand with the collection in deep. As it's again to Donov. Mason Marchand into the circles. This gets blocked by Boston. Another slapper gets blocked. Boston fans on it and attempt to get it out, but they will find it now, at least in the neutral zone. Tyler Seguin trying to get this back in quickly. Wyatt Johnston near the left side goes to Johnston. Swayman looks behind him. Snow Angel underneath, but he's got it.
From what I'm hearing, Swayman has been holding up his own at his own crease in a goaltending battle for what has been an outstanding duel between these two teams thus far halfway into regulation. Swayman really showing that he has been having the upper hand so far in this game. The stats back it up with such an effort that he's been having tonight.
So from what we have, again, to give you the reset because we're going to a commercial break, Jeremy Swayman on the year, 5-0-0, 138, 954 save percentage, and 1 shutout. Again, he's playing so good, these numbers could go up at the time when this game is done. Your reset here, Mason Lohrei from Danton Heinen, Ian Mitchell, the latest goal at 14:09. Johnny Beecher has the first goal of the game from Hampus Lindholm, so he does pick up his second point today. He's got an assist. Jake Odger stopped 17 out of 19. Jeremy Swayman, 17 out of 17. As far as your stats numbers, both power plays now 0 for 2. On that side, faceoffs are 21-18 in favor of Dallas. Shots are 19-17 for Boston.
I want to take a look at the Florida Panthers and the Columbus Blue Jackets, and it appears that the Blue Jackets have taken the lead for the moment because out of Alex Texier's first goal back with the Blue Jackets, Nick Cousins says, "How about no? We're going to overtime."
Holy cow on that side. At least Florida gets a point, but you have to think they got to get 2.
Yeah, they need to because they cannot blow this game away, especially after going up 3-0 in the opening period. You cannot afford to let this go to waste.
And right now, again, you might be ahead of me on this side, but I'm looking at the scoring update and I clicked on it. With 3:22 left on third. Tampa's got to kill a power play from Toronto. Almost tongue-tied myself. 3:22. Toronto's down 5-4.
Yeah, Toronto has been coming right back at Tampa Bay, and for an answer to respond to Tampa's for an answer, if Toronto wants to keep this up, they need to play a complete game because with games like these, the deep comeback wins may not be a recipe for success on the long term. It may be good, but long term, not so much.
So 8:15 left to go in our game as this is picked up now. And around the boards and off the turn, Dallas able to keep some puck possession over the face-off win. It's been about 40 seconds. Here's a slap shot. It's bounced up the left pad of Swayman. Dallas now all of a sudden starting to buzz a little bit, and they need it with Sam Steele. Here's an opportunity trying to keep this alive. Here, Heiskanen off the backboards. This one will go wide. Dallas has it now. Steele leaves it here for Miro. Miro off the half spin. He's working his way in tight behind the cage. Centered it out in front. Swayman makes a great save.
The show keeps going on here with these two teams. Wow. I just can't believe what has been going on with this goaltending battle. Like I'm watching both these goalies go nuclear.
So Niels Lundqvist centered it out in front for Craig Smith, and that was absolutely robbed by Swayman. Yes, he met the middle of the crease, and he was there in good position, but that was a fantastic save nonetheless. Swayman's been locked in. 7:44 left to go in the second. Shots are now 20-19 for Dallas. They've started to work a little bit here. Can they get a goal? Pavelski can't win the draw, but it's still contested. An opportunity for Ian Mitchell. Now Mitchell will flip this in across the red line. And this will be sent all the way back. There'll be an opportunity now for Harley. Go ahead and try to skate this a little bit to the neutral zone. Here's a long pass for Joe Pop. But this gets picked off. Roope Hintz will try to go ahead and find it in between Mitchell. Now near the left side of the red line. Mitchell will play this in off the back end to his defensive partner, Oscar Steen, taking a look near the right side of the dot. Picked up by Robo now. So he's trying to work through. The first line's back out there for Peter DeBoer's squad. An opportunity now for the Stars, but it goes a little bit too far as this is picked off. And this is an opportunity for Boston, but they go offsides with 6:58 in the second.
So if you're one of these two teams, you need to get something that can establish yourself that you're in this game and that you're willing to commit to the victory. It whether it be Boston or Florida or Dallas. I was about to say Florida, but by accident, Florida stops Columbus's comeback with their own comeback, Ben.
just taking a 5-4 lead, it looks like, with 4:17 in the third. As we're going to keep track of all these scores, it's a 5-5 game between the Lightning and the Maple Leafs as well. So all these games have been wild. Here's a pinball of a shot. This will fall back to the Bruins now, as they'll try to locate this thing with Kevin Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk stuck in his own end, and this will be turned over here. Heiskanen tries to find it. Now the Bees will jump on it. Trent Frederick, no offside down. He can walk right in and shoot. This goes off the pad of Jake Ottinger as cross-check right in front of the referee, not called, as the play is still live. 6:15 left to go in the second. John out here with you alongside Alec Nava, as it's the Dallas Stars at home against the Boston Bruins, where they're down 2-0 at the American Airlines Center. Again, both these teams meet once on each other's ice in opposite conferences. They're both really good this year, as this is picked up off the backhand, recollected by Dallas. They're going to try to make their way left to right, long flip. It's knocked down. Opportunity for Brad Marchand. Will gain the entry. Jake DeBrusk will find a way to try to get around Roope Hintz. And now Boston, Marchand is heavily contested in between a bunch of Victory Green jerseys. Farley trying to throw out the forehand just to keep it alive. DeBrusk gives it here for Brad as he'll work this way around for a long shot from the point for Warai. This one gets answered by Ottinger. He'll find it off the kick plate and he'll hold on.
So Ottinger and Swayman still doing their thing of being some of the best that we have seen in terms of goaltending matchups. You mentioned about 5-5 hockey games between Tampa and Toronto. I don't know who the goal scorer is for Tampa Bay, who perhaps forced overtime in here, but man, what night of hockey action we're having.
Again, yeah, they're not showing it on my side either, which is kind of weird. It shows 5-5, but it doesn't show the goal. The only thing I see is Kelly Armcrock at 155 and Mitch Marner at 203. Goals 8 seconds apart. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with all that. And again, from what you talked about on the side between Tampa and Toronto, again, it shows 5-5 with a $1.19, and the only goals I see are Kelly Armcrock and Mitch Marner. So we'll keep an eye on that, but that is what the score line says, and it says it's going to OT.
So 2 games going to overtime, and the Panthers took theirs with the Blue Jackets. I'm trying to see who is the latest goal scorer for Tampa Bay. I'm trying to refresh myself. Guess I have to go on to the NHL app to find out. So 5-5, Brandon Hagel.
Thank you for that. Again, it wasn't even refreshing on my side here. Again, we're still trying to get on any connection issues on that side, just be able to broadcast this game so we can pick up Alec for the third period on that side. But if not, we can give you scoring updates across the NHL and the NBA. I think we got a Monday Night Football game as well tonight.
Yep, the Chargers and Jets. The Chargers lead 14-3. So it's more about the NHL and how we're going with this back and forth action.
Again, for me at least, on the NFL side, the picks have gotten a lot better. I did take the Chargers there. Looks like the Panthers, as you said, with Carter Verhaeghe, that one officially finally goes final on that side, even though it's been final, because these updates need to happen on these web pages here. But there we go. We're going to be getting back into action into the second period. It's still a 2-0 lead for the Boston Bruins over the Dallas Stars. It's been a good contest for Dallas, honestly, too. It's just been the Jeremy Swayman experience. And when Boston has needed to clear the puck out of the blue paint, they've done so right now. And it makes you wonder, for every minute that goes by as we get closer and closer to the third period, is the vice grip already set in? Because once Boston Bruins get a lead, it's hard for them to lose it.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto almost did so. I'm officially back and connected into the action. So good that I got my connection back in track. But Boston almost lost the lead to Toronto. That game got to a shootout. Toronto fought hard, and it was a war of attrition between Swayman and Ilya Samsonov. But it was Swayman prevailing in the end.
So Shattenkirk with a long shot. This one gets saved there by Ottinger. Now Dallas will look to press the other way. Got about 5 minutes left to go in the second, but just a second ahead of that as this gets iced.
So between Boston and Dallas, these are 2 teams still, as is mentioned at the beginning of this, mirror images of one another. Power plays may be going off slow, but they have elite penalty kills and are stingy defensive units. We need to see more for this Dallas offense, especially since they're about Matt Duchene and Radek Faksa.
Yeah, they've been a little quiet. Again, it's not as quiet as the Avalanche. I think we're shut out 3 of their last 4 games. What was it the other day? 6-0 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. That was an eye opener.
7-0.
7-0. Yeah, I couldn't believe it on that side. I mean, Colorado's a good team, and they got absolutely pasted. They've been having trouble scoring. Dallas, as you said, they've had trouble scoring a little bit here, and we'll see if it continues. But Swayman's really been that good. This could be a tie game if it wasn't for Jeremy Swayman, in all honesty. Essa Lindell will flip this one down and across the red line as it's recollected now. And picked up off of a long pass. Here's an opportunity. Beecher off the drop, and Ottinger. That was a one-timer set up in the middle of the slot from the 4th line. And he cancels it off with a good save.
Danton Heinen, who spent several years with the Pittsburgh Penguins, 2 of them, well, he's picking up where he left off. His first stint with Boston, back like he never left, made the team off a PTO, and he found open Johnny Beecher, who's looking for goal number 2 in his career, 2nd of this game as well. Good look for Beecher.
So Beecher's going to get kicked out of the face-off circle. It'll still be Joe Pa on the other end for the Stars. And Heinen can't win the draw. And this is picked up by Boston in the neutral zone after it was cleared out. Hampus Lindholm just going to try to stay out of the penalty box here as this is flipped in. Jake Ottinger sends it around, but good forechecking here for Boston. Try to disrupt that momentarily as Matthew Poitras try to get a piece of it. And off the backhand side and collect off the forehand now is Dallas and their own man Nils Lundqvist as they'll try to locate this thing. Put it in around the inboards now for Roope as will be recollected by the first line of Robertson. There's a long outstretched pass. This will be picked up there by Nils Lundqvist momentarily. He was the pretty much winger on that play. He was just trying to get in and make something happen. It's heavily contested near the right side boards as Boston able to get this out to neutral. Picked up by Roope Hintz now as he'll go ahead and work his way to the forefront. Here's a long pass from Yanni Hakanpää. Pavelski off the cross. Gives it back to Joe Pa. Looking for a combination play for Roope Hintz. That was dangerous as it went wide. And now an opportunity for Dallas near the right side boards as it gets settled back down. Wrapped around the inboards now. Hakanpää will put it the same. We'll shovel it right back in. Near the left side of the post, that's where Jeremy Swayman's on the stand-up, giving it a look as this is still contested. Hampus Lindholm pushes this out to the forward and get it right back as this goes across the Texas D. Brian Marchand will find his way near the left side red line. A couple of cross-checks there. He's able to get through it. Yanni Hakanpää as well. One of the Stars gets knocked down. Wotherspoon gets a shot, bounce up in the air, but a bounce off the breast as this is near the right side red line now. Dallas will find it. Just get it out into the neutral zone as it's recollected by Wotherspoon. Again, he's still got rookie designation, I believe, despite being drafted about 7 seasons ago. As this is picked up now by Boston and near the right side dot, but Dallas will find a way to intercept. Again, Boston all over on this forecheck now. They are not making it easy for Dallas to even breathe in most situations. Swayman has made a couple good saves here and there, but Boston, they've been all over this ice. This is a good sauce pass near the right side, gain the entry on an open right wing. Frederick will drop it, get back the defense off a bomb. This bounces off of Ottinger. It's loose near the right side dot. He picked up for Ty Dellandrea, but he loses it. Can't get through the body contact. And now Jake Ottinger will play this off the spin. Heiskanen out for Craig Smith. It's picked off in the neutral zone by Boston. Now this will be wrapped back around and be an opportunity for Ian Mitchell. Play this in off the backhand. Gain the entry. Here does Boston. Great move. Series escape for Pasta. Driving his way to the net. Almost made something happen single-handedly. Now gets it back behind the net. Goes off of a sharp angle shot. This goes off the left pad of Jake Ottinger. David Pastrnak has got all sorts of ability. He could work through a Black Friday phone booth and still find a way to score. He really is that good. You got to find a way to watch him as this is picked up now. Near the right side, Shattenkirk. This gets blocked. Sent back down through bodies, and we will see if this goes far enough for icing. Don't believe it will. Be an opportunity now for The defensive crew here for Warlock will go ahead and make the play as Boston will look to go right to left. Oscar Steen loses it. Down to 40 seconds left to go in the second. No goals in this second period. Still the 2 in the first from Beecher and Warai. A stick gets knocked up in the air. Somebody, I thought might have been an ad on that. So it looked like a stick hit somebody on the Boston side as it kind of merged in with the ads into the neutral ice as it goes to 25 seconds now. Near the right side boards, fans want a penalty. I don't think they're going to get one, as one of the Dallas Stars gets knocked down to Mason Marchand. This is just being contested in the defensive end of the Boston Bruins. It's been sitting there a long time near the left side of the wall, and the ref's not blowing this dead as the clock continues to wind away. This is just fine for Boston. They don't mind this. This will fall back to the right side dot played by Swayman, and that ends the second period.
That play between Pastrnak and Heiskanen is the definition of elite player versus elite player, with Pastrnak almost single-handedly making perhaps as beautiful of a routine play as you'll ever see. This is an everyday moment for Pastrnak as he just near single-handedly gets a solo effort goal. The story of this period has been about Roope Hintz. He got friendly fired twice, but he's still fighting through the pain. That last sequence, that's just excellent clock management from the Bruins and trying to run down the rest of this period.
Yeah, it really was. The clock management, again, you mentioned it for Pastrnak. Couple saves there for Swayman and some friendly fire against Roope Hintz. That's really all we can tell you here on that side in the second period, as there were no goals, but we do have a final that we can go ahead and tell you. Again, maybe not all sort of panic here for Toronto Maple Leafs Nation. They win 6-5 in overtime.
For their third straight overtime victory against the Leafs, or should I say fifth straight, but I need to go start counting them up because third straight, I would have said that back in the playoffs at Tampa Bay. They get one here in Toronto for overtime win number 5 in consecutive fashion against the Bolts, and the former three-time defending Eastern Conference champion, is now we can put it. The Leafs need to show that last year they can build off of it. And if there's a point for starting points, this could be something, but they need to pick up the pace a lot more. Having Ilya Samsonov pulled isn't going to cut it here.
Looks like Calle Armstrong got his second of the game, 46 seconds into the OT from Morgan Riley and William Nylander. So 6-5 victory for the Maple Leafs. I know Alec went over this a little bit on this side, but now that it's officially updated and correct, Matthew Nye started the scoring from 342 from Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews. Then it was Hedman, Kucherov on the power play, and Braden Point on the power play. Made it 4-1 after one. That game could have completely went one way. And again, there's been a lot of talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and what needs to happen. Well, the big boys stepped up again. Austin Matthews gets a couple goals in the second period, makes it a 4-3 game. Matthew Nyes, Mitch Marner pick up an assist, or does TJ Brody and Marner again on that side. And then it gets a little crazy. Kelly Armstrong and Mitch Marner help Toronto get the lead at 1:55 and 2:03, 8 seconds apart. Brandon Hagel ties it at 17:34 before Armstrong gets his second of the game. So point totals, they should be pretty lofty on both sides. Kelly Armstrong, 2 goals plus 1, 3 shots. 2 goals on 3 shots, that works pretty good. Mitch Marner, a goal and 3 assists. Austin Matthews, 3 points with 2 goals and an assist. That's worked pretty good on that side. And the overtime loss goes to Jonas Johansson, 28 out of 34. And as you said, Ilya Samsonov gets pulled, 8 out of 12. Joseph Woll, really good in relief. He gets the win, stops 18 out of 19.
We may be getting a point to where the Leafs may need to consider having Woll. If he keeps putting up performances like these and Samsonov continues to struggle, maybe we could be at that point where Woll may need to be named the full-time starter in Toronto. He's looked very sharp.
Yeah, you mentioned that on that, so I agree with you. It's going to be a situation where you'll have to think about it. And again, Toronto's going to have a lot to think about because let's just go to it this way. You're going to finish off this weekend, and you're going to play against nothing but Canadian teams at home. You got Ottawa, Calgary, and Vancouver. Ottawa on Wednesday, and then Calgary and Vancouver up the back-to-back Friday, Saturday. at Scotiabank. Here's the situation. After that, several days off. Why is that? Because Toronto is going to be playing, I believe, in Sweden on that side. One against the Red Wings Friday on the 17th. And then it says Minnesota on that side, but I thought it was a different team. But next week, they're going to be in Sweden.
And for the global series, as they're going to cover, and nice of the NHL to have their brand expanded overseas, over in Europe. Just remember, they had some games in Australia, and the Australian games there, perhaps something for a long-term fixture if they're going with preseason games. But sometimes jet lag can really catch up to these players.
Right.
We saw how the NFL did that with the games in UK and most recently in Germany between the Chiefs and the Dolphins, which has me thinking about the NHL and to an extent the NBA and their global series. They want to expand their brand.
Yeah, I think that's a good call on that side. I think that's what they're going to need to do because, again, you see it a lot in the NFL. Look, I'll be honest with you and say I don't know if all the games in London are always top tier, but it makes sense for the NHL to expand it because when you have all the other leagues that you have with the Quebec Major Junior, KHL, AHL, all the things like that, keep on going, keep expanding it because we need to get more eyes and ears on National Hockey League because as far as the four major pro sports, NHL's trailing quite a bit.
Yeah, it's very very visible with the NHL trailing the other leagues because if the NHL wants to continue expanding their brand, the global series is a good way to do it. They play some games over in Sweden, Finland, and other years perhaps expand this over to the other European nations such as the UK, France, Germany.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to type in a couple of these notes, but let me just make sure that we do the scoreboard on that side for the NBA because I think we're going to be getting close to a few finals. I feel like I want to say something about my team on this side, but let me give you some other finals here if we want to go through some of these. So we know the Clippers trade is official on that side. I want to see if they all played today. So James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George, they played, but they got beat down by the Knicks. They lost 111 and 90, or yeah, they lost 111 and 97 as they got beat down by the Knicks. The Clippers did.
Continuity is a good thing for the Knicks.
Right.
They want to keep going with their same guys with the same sense of familiarity under Tom Thibodeau, and it worked out. Just remember, even though the Knicks lost their opening in-season tournament game, Jalen Brunson had 45 in that game, and he's making it clear he's the number one guy with the Knicks. The Clippers, on the other hand, it's a lot of changes, and they're doing a lot of star chasing. I know the Lakers have been infamous for star chasing over the last few years, but it feels like the Clippers may be doing the same thing that the Lakers were.
It really does, and I don't know if that's going to work out, especially in a situation that we talked about where there's been a lot of load management in between Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and now you got to bring in James Harden, who's kind of a diva and on his own. No disrespect, because I know he's a great player, but we all know about the other stuff, no matter where he goes. So we'll see if that continues to move for the Clippers, because I feel like they're chasing it all the way into their new building that they're going to be getting. I don't know if it's going to work out, though. Miami Heat get a 108-107 victory over the LA Lakers. They get it at the Kensington Center. Jimmy Butler had 28, 7-7 from the free throw line. Bam Adebayo, he had holy cow, Bam Adebayo, 22 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 blocks and 2 steals. Have a game, my friend. And Tyler Hero also had 22.
Oh, for those who have Bam Adebayo on your fantasy basketball team, have yourself a night. This is a night where you get to remember here 22, 20, and 10. Wow. And we're all to talk about Jimmy Butler and how he's doing. How about Bam? With this valiant effort up against the Lakers, which is never easy to do, especially a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis would be bound to succeed on most nights. Now they've dropped 2 straight, one to the Magic, the other to the Heat after that brilliantly overtime win over the Clippers, and you got to wonder if there's something that needs to be fixed with the Lakers because you don't have Gabe Vincent, and Vincent has been working out well with the Lakers. Perhaps, maybe, we're thinking about the continuity of the Spoelstra system in Miami.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure that out on that side. I do want to ask you a couple questions, and one thing that just made me laugh, but the serious one first is Bam Adebayo a little bit underrated?
This conversation can be brought up every year, and the same answer would be yes. He is underrated. One of the best centers in the league, one of the best defenders in the league. He is underrated, and I'm getting tired of the Bam Adebayo disrespect. He is legit, end of story.
Again, I think so too, and also there'll be a new player, I guess, for Darvin Ham. I don't know if this is a good combination, but Ham and Alex Fudge is a member of the Lakers. That's a name that I haven't seen before, so might have some fun with that during the play-by-play side of it. Let's see, 146, 128. My goodness, what a segue! 146, 128. Philadelphia gets a monster win over Washington. I guess no defense was played in this game. Let's see what the scoreline was. Joel Embiid, have yourself a game. 17 of 25 shooting, 14 of 14 from the line to go with 48 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists in a gigantic win. And again, when you have guys like Tyrese Maxey, you can move on from James Harden. 22 points on 9 of 16 with 11 assists as well. He just continues to get better every year. The leading scorer for the Wizards, 28 for Kyle Kuzma in the 146-128 loss.
Oh, even though Embiid is the only MVP to not go to the conference finals, it feels like he is hungry to go there with efforts like these. Especially even though the Wizards are not a spectacular team, everyone counts for something, and Embiid made his presence felt throughout this game. What a monster night for him.
Yeah, and again, it makes me wonder. Again, I think this is a fair question to ask, but I feel like Philadelphia and Daryl Morey, they already know the answer to this. Can the Philadelphia 76ers win with Tyrese Maxey as their second best player? And I think that they're betting on he can, because he just continues to improve every game and game in, game out.
Without he went in the James Harden trade and the format that they brought in, even though all the players they brought in are coming off the bench, you have to wonder if this is addition by subtraction with how Tyrese Maxey is improving.
Yeah, that's going to be something that you're going to think about. And on that side, again, you're going to do without all the other distractions, as you said. And I think that's a good call. And I wouldn't have guessed this to begin the year, but I guess I have to give a little bit of apology to some of my Dallas Mavericks friends that I know about. But they're 6-1 to start the year, and the only loss they have is against the Denver Nuggets. Again, they were playing the Orlando Magic today, but the Orlando Magic have a better record than I thought they would. They're 4-3, but Dallas improves to 6-1 with a 117-102 victory over Orlando as they were in Disneyland today. Luka Doncic, pretty easy, 22 points, nothing ridiculous, but Tim Hardaway Jr., decent game off the bench. He had 21. Kyrie Irving had 15. On the other side for the Magic, Paolo Banchero, 20 points and 6 assists, 5 rebounds. And Mo Wagner off the bench had 19 as well. Paolo Banchero is somebody that I will continue to keep my eyes on. For the Orlando Magic, I just want to see them improve. But the 20-year-old in his second season, I think he's a pretty good player in the NBA. Kind of does a little bit of everything.
Banchero is truly an underappreciated player in his second season. I feel he had the most quiet Rookie of the Year campaign because of all the hype around Victor Wembanyama. This has realized that even though Wembanyama is him, we need to not forget Banchero is the number one guy in Orlando. Even though his team lost, he's still going to put up 20 points a game, more or less, on the night. And for Dallas, perhaps the decision last year might have paid off, because in playing long-range game, they managed to get a center that can space the floor, and Derek Lively, and it's paying off.
Yeah, again, I'd seen him in the Champions Classic with Duke last year in the second game last year. So he looked pretty good, pretty athletic. He could shoot a little bit. I like that. I'm not surprised at the score line. I'm just surprised by how many points. I guess defense is another one of those options in the NBA. How about this? The Indiana Pacers win 152 to 111 against the Spurs.
Oh, that's a nice way for Rick Carlisle to get win number 900 in his career.
That's a great shout out by you on that side. I wasn't even aware of that. I know he's been doing that for a long time, though. He also really loves to fly helicopters. I do know that about Carlisle. 23 points for Tyrese Halliburton. That seems like a great trade that worked out from the Sacramento Kings. I think he'll be a mainstay as he wants to be at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Good balanced scoring there for the Pacers, as it looked like everybody played besides Daniel Tice. Buddy Hield had 19 off the bench. Neesmith had 15. Same thing for Turner. Turner had 11 rebounds as well. Victor Wembanyama today, nothing ridiculous, but 13 and 10. Again, he's going to continue to put up the numbers. Again, I know I texted Alec last week in one of the games with the Suns because that was absolutely crazy, but I loved seeing him get the shout out from the TNT interview crew on that side. Again, the 19-year-old Victor Wembanyama, he is legit. Again, we just talked about Paolo Banchero on that side for the Magic, but Wembanyama, he definitely is that guy too. Another one, I don't think this comes as a surprise, but the Pistons, they fall to 2-6. My goodness. They lose 120 to 109 to the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green gets to come home for a day at least, but Steph Curry, we had a Steph Curry type game. He had 34 points on 7 of 17 from 3. He was just bombing it all night on that side. Killian Hayes, I guess I am impressed with this. He had 21 points on 8 of 12 shooting. Had a good breakout game for him. Cade Cunningham had 21 as well. But the thing that I've seen, again, I haven't had a chance to cover the Pistons this year, but they lead the league in turnovers. That has got to change.
This has to be a metric that needs to go down as time goes on for the Pistons for this rebound, whether it be between Cade Cunningham, Osar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, Jaden Ivey, does not matter. Everyone needs to stop forcing turnovers no matter which team you're on.
Yeah, it just has to happen. Cade had another 5. He's been averaging, I think, over the last 5 games, 5 to 7 turnovers per. I understand you're looking for some secondary scoring. You're going to get Bojan Bogdanovic and all those other guys back. The one thing I will say, I know the Pistons, the same thing with the Red Wings. I'm not making excuses. Sometimes you don't get draft luck lottery on that side. It's a lottery. Sometimes you're not going to win it. But Oscar Thompson, he looks to be a pretty decent player. Again, a 3-4, whatever mix he's going to be. Steals, blocks every game with the points. I like what I'm seeing from the young man on that side. And again, from the, G League Ignite, only 20 years old, getting it done. I like what we've got from Thompson. I think he's going to be a good piece going forward.
People wonder about between Amon and All-Star and who's going to have the better career. So far, All-Star has had the better start. I'll give a shout out to Amon coming off the bench. Perhaps the Rockets are prioritizing the long-range game as he is learning from Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green.
Yeah, those are good ones to learn from. I think we have another one that just went final, as we'll give you the update on that side. Looks like the Bucks and the Nets have gone final. The Milwaukee Bucks, they improved to 4-2, 129-125 victory over the Brooklyn Nets. I want to see if Mikal Bridges was playing and what did he do in this game. 31 on that side for Mikal Bridges, 12 of 21 shooting, 6 of 7 from the line. Any other standouts for Brooklyn? Yeah, I missed Cam Thomas. I guess he had 45. So Thomas and Bridges, a little how do you do, though they lost 4 points, but Thomas 17 of 33 on that side, but a 45 burger.
You know, Cam Thomas is one of those guys I wish, as I would say, that he should be on the mainstay at the starting 5 for the Nets because they need these types of nights for him and they want to continue to be competitive night in and night out. Giannis, though, moves every day a stat line of double-doubles. This time he has 36 and 12. How about this?
Yeah, the numbers were pretty big in the NBA tonight for what we saw. Large score lines. Not a lot of scoring in this game between the Bruins and the Stars, but I think Alec and I kind of expected that. But the Stars do need the push. Again, I'll just throw it out there like I always say. If you can get one within the first 10 minutes and give yourself a chance if you're Dallas, that puts you right back into the game. But Boston, they've kind of been putting that vice grip and tightening a little bit as this game's gone along. But this has been a very entertaining game against two teams that we really expect to be in the playoffs, and they look like they've played like it so far. As let's go Stars chance, but this goes offsides.
One more game, ours goes on the NHL. You want to wonder how this game is going to go the rest of the way. There's still room for the Stars to tie it. Just remember, the most dangerous lead in hockey is the 2-goal lead, and the Bruins have a 2-goal lead. So how they've been defensively sound throughout the last 2 seasons, you'd imagine that they're going to do everything to protect this lead.
I think they would, and they've kind of played that way. Like we said, Swayman's made a couple spectacular saves, but they've kept it clean around him. They've kept the shots low to the outside. That's what you got to do. This Boston Bruins team looks like a machine, honestly, and I don't see anything changing. Getting to Dadonov now. We'll drop it in for Heiskanen. This is played off the window. Dadonov might get a chance to pick this one back up as it's near the right side red line. After gaining the entry now with speed, Heiskanen will fire it wide as this goes up the backboards. Heiskanen now first to get to it. I know he's a defenseman, but he kind of feels like an extra forward, Heiskanen. He really is that good. Centered out in front, Dadonov trying to find it in between his legs. And now this will fall to Ian Mitchell. Third line side from Jim Montgomery's squad. This is fired in by Evgeny Dadonov. Recollected by Wotherspoon. And picked up near the red line side. 18-15 thereabouts to go in the third. John, I'm here with you alongside Alex Nava as we're taking this game in at the American Airlines Center. Most teams, about 11 games into their season, play's going to get blown dead in the neutral zone.
We're taking a look here at Wyatt Johnston as he looks to find his footing. I know last year he was tied with Matty Beniers for most goals among rookies. This year, we see more of him, and if he can get that improvement in his second year and not fall for that infamous sophomore slump.
Yeah, I really can't afford that. And wow, that was a good play there for Smith as I get a look at the replay. He made sure he didn't touch the puck because Dadonov was making a change. If he would have been too many men on the ice against Dallas.
Yeah, that was heads-up play from Smith, making sure that he was touching it and to prevent the too many men on the ice.
So this will be chopped near the right side red line. Dallas and the Victory Green going to try to take this right to left. They need a couple goals. This one is deflected nicely where Wotherspoon gets a piece of it. Now Shattenkirk will combine. Still try to center it in, but there are the Bees. Like a swarm that they are. They were able to pick that one off. That's Lindell. Rush it ahead. Now tied to Landry. Try to make the drop pass here for Robo. Pick it up off the backhand. Number 21 on that side, but gets knocked away from number 10, tied to Landry. And I think Poltrot will put this in off the window and across the red line now as it's fired in. Icing is waved off. So both teams going to make some full-scale line changes. The shots on goal read 26-22 in favor of Boston. They're up 2-0 on that side from goals from Ryan Beecher. Here's a chance as it's thrown in front. It's loose. It's being battled for. And now this goes near the left side of the red line. Not sure how many Jake Ottinger even got a piece of. Maybe one. It was just a massive humanity right in front of the blue paint. Mitchell off the drop. Instead of shooting it, he goes to pass, and this one gets picked off. Dallas has it now. Try to make something happen of a 4-on-3. Harley drop for Sagan. Sagan backhand right to the right circle. Good save, Swayman. Where's the rebound? As this goes near the right side for Smith. Smith, cross-ice pass. Sagan with a slapper. Took too long. Bounced out in front of the blue paint. And the Bruins get this one down. I don't think they care if they ice it here. They needed to kill the pressure that was in front of them.
Oh, this looked like one of the best chances Dallas has had all night long. And this time around, with 2, maybe 3 great chances for them. And you count the Tyler Sagan slapper. And that was as close as they can get. And the best one from Craig Smith. He had 2 chances on the night. And this one might be the better one of the 2.
Sliding across, the left side's wide open, but he slides across on the right to Rob Craig Smith. Good post movement there for Swayman. Again, he has had to make some good saves. I've tried to reiterate that several times in the broadcast, but he's been locked in. Suter Sends it across in the high slot. Now Heiskanen. This will go wide. Pavelski can't locate it. And now Boston has it now. Witherspoon will send this one back around. Be an opportunity for Jake Ottinger to play this behind his goal crease and handle the puck. Suter, long outstretched pass from about 80 feet. This one will gain the entry and work out for the Dallas Stars. Heiskanen flip it across now for Suter as this gets blocked near the right side of the red line. Suter now for Van Riemsdyk. And the whistle is behind the play. Not sure what it is there, but 15:46 we get a stoppage.
As we get a stoppage, I think this puck went out of the play. So I want to go back into, when we look back at Bruins history, sometimes we think about Zdeno Chara. I want to get into the topic of Chara. He just completed the New York Marathon with an official time, 3 hours, 19 minutes, 19 seconds.
Very cool on that side. It's always good to do that, and it's always something that you'll never forget, really.
Yeah, it may be physically exhausting and mentally exhausting, but once you complete a marathon, it feels like you just had the time of your life.
Absolutely. Can't say that any better. As this is picked up now for Benn. Now this is near the behind the net of Swayman. Taking a little bit longer, but not quite the same ending of the second period as the Bruins had it for about 2 minutes there, to be honest. Pass across for Pasta. He's been locked up pretty good. He's been in jail against the Dallas Stars right now. They're making sure he doesn't get going, but he did hit a post in this game. This is stick handled. This is going to get picked up by the Stars. Maybe they'll get something out of this. The Donov has it. He's trying to find Heiskanen as this goes wide and behind the cage. Heiskanen still with it. Sends it back to the D-line side. Here's Essa. Scores! Dallas is back in the game as they get a deflection in front.
Finally, the chance they needed and the good look as Essa Lindell found a traffic jam. Spawned the man right in front of Jeremy Swayman after so many good looks on Swayman all game long. It's as if Swayman was as a brick wall throughout this game, and Lindell managed to find a little crack at that wall. Was that Wyatt Johnston? Please don't tell me that was Wyatt Johnston. I would be amazed if that was Wyatt Johnston. That appears it is.
Essa Lindell, this gets tipped. I think it did get tipped by Wyatt Johnston, but then there was two players in front. There was Jamie Benn and Donov in off the screen, so it does go to Johnston. And Swayman didn't have a chance. He couldn't even see it.
There's so many players right out front, and the entire line of Benn, Johnston, and Donov, and was screening hit right in front. There's minimal chance you're going to spot that puck. There's nothing that Swayman could do there.
So Dallas, as Alex said, they get the goal that they need. It's a 2-1 game. Again, this intrigue continues to build. These two teams have played a really good regular season game. It does have a little bit of a playoff type feel to it. Sam Steele has it now. 14:25 left to go in the third. All sorts of business in behind the net as Essa Lindell trying to find it. Witherspoon knocks it away. Be an opportunity now for the Bruins. Danton Heinen slows up. Keeps it alive off the forehand, tries to make a play falling down. Puts us around the end boards now. This is back in behind the net. Jake Ottinger, he's in a little bit of the butterfly, hugging onto that left post, waiting to see what happens with it as it's near the left side of the red line, trying to get pried loose. Nils Lundqvist can't find it. Here's Carlo. He'll shoot through the traffic. This bounces. This is near the right side dot now, recollected by Trent Frederick, who wants it. Bruins get to it first, but it's still contested by the Stars. Lundqvist pins the man against the wall. And behind the net again, as this goes near the right side red line. These are just been two really good defensive teams on top of this as well. Not allowing time and space. And again, from the goal, it's kind of a double deflection for Johnson with loads of traffic in front. No chance for Swayman. Hakanpää will leave this near the right side red line, and Boston will locate it there for Frederick. Here's an opportunity now for Patra. He's trying to push Yanni Hakanpää away from it. Now Mitchell was able to keep this in despite three Stars being right there. Jake Ottinger makes the pass, but Hakanpää can't get it clean. As it's Potra, take a look at it. And now Dallas will try to charge the other way. As Boston with Witherspoon will send this back around the embankment. Near the left side dot. Bounces off some bodies. Now an opportunity for Ian Mitchell as he gains the red line. He'll fire it in. Jake Oettinger will settle it down for his defense. 12:45 left to go in this fast-moving third period. It's a 2-1 lead now for the Bruins. They scored both their goals in the first. We haven't had one now until the Wyatt Johnston goal in the third. It's 2-1 as this is picked up by Boston. Turned over and recollected. Hampus Lindholm had to make sure he didn't play it off sides as they'll clear it in. Marchand trying to get a look at it as Hintz will quickly push it the other way, but this will find Hampus as he's got it now. Again, the former Anaheim Duck getting a chance to play with Boston really in a full season this time. Again, they lost in Game 7 of the first round of the Florida Panthers as this gets iced.
I want to go back to that 2-on-1 rush. Even though Danton Heinen was the one who initiated, this was a good chance, but an even better back check by the Stars to prevent a scoring look for Heinen in his second stint with the Bruins. Nicely done there. We talk about good defensive teams. The Stars are a good defensive team, and that back check showed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this game so far. I feel like I might be pushing the button too much. Maybe it's because you're with me here, Alec, on this side. Maybe it's because we moved from baseball to hockey. But I wanted us to get a good matchup to get to on this first night of a new week. I think we've got one now. A gigantic check as Carlo got knocked down and was heavily padded wall. Trying to go short side was Evgeny Dadonov. This is with the Stars. They're buzzing now. Here's Suter. Big slapper. Where's the puck? Swayman looks behind him. This is near the left side red line. Here's another chance. Swayman slides over. It's underneath them. Now they blow it dead. And we get some pushing and shoving here, but I don't think we're going to get anything out of it.
The goaltending still prevailing here. Even though Jake Oettinger had those 2 goals allowed in that first period, he still looked up strong ever since. And Jeremy Swayman still holding his own, even though that 1 goal against was not his fault. He's still showing that he's keeping the Bruins afloat.
This looks like it's going to come down to the wire. We're almost at the halfway marker of the third. We'll take a break at 11:48 right now. It's a 2-1 lead now. Dallas Stars, they get the latest goal, courtesy of Wyatt Johnston on the double deflection. Right now, they're giving it to Esa Lindell and Miro Heiskanen. That is anybody's guess. There was so much traffic out in front. We'll see if that ends up holding, but we know that Wyatt Johnston's got the goal. Jake Oettinger stopped 25 out of 27 for a 9.26, and Jeremy Swayman 24 out of 25 for a 9.60. So stellar goaltending, stellar penalty kill, and it's a close game so far.
Very close, and just the way we like it, tight, and we have a mix of everything here. So we have some aggressive offense, but we need to see more from these offenses because the defenses have been what's showing out here. They've been at their very best, just the way that we've seen them throughout the season, especially on the penalty killing side. Perfect on that end, even though the power plays, they look to get some good looks, and they did get good looks early on in this game on their first opportunities each. We're just seeing 2 evenly matched teams go evenly matched up against each other.
Yeah, that is what we're seeing right now. Again, the last game on the NHL on ice, it is Edmonton and Vancouver. That is at Rogers Place at that side. I believe I got that one correct on that side. Rogers Arena on that side in Vancouver. 2-7-1 Edmonton. It's going to be 8-2-1 Vancouver. Looks like your starting goaltenders are Thatcher Demko, who has stopped 11 out of 11 here early, not even 6 minutes in the first, and Stuart Skinner stopped 3 out of 3.
The goaltending still holding up for Vancouver. We need to see a goaltending turnaround for Edmonton because they need one badly here between Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner. Jay Woodcroft really trusts Stuart Skinner to be his go-to guy, but with how Skinner and Campbell have been playing this season, Skinner was good last year. He needs to avoid that infamous sophomore slump, and I can't emphasize that enough because it feels like a sophomore slump for Skinner.
Yeah, they need anything. They might look toward minor league stuff, or maybe somebody even in the stands if it gets any worse. And I'm not even exaggerating on that side. They needed to improve as this goes now and cleared down deep. Roope Hintz will be the first to get to it. As we got 11:25 left to go in the third, it's a 2-1 game. The Bees have the lead over the Stars. in this really good battle between two teams that we think are going to go pretty good in the playoffs. They're at least going to make it. I can tell you that. As this is Beecher who got tripped up a little bit, but this will be an opportunity for Boston. And behind the cage now for Oscar Steen. Again, the fourth line, first line, they've all looked good right now for both of these teams. I can't really tell a drop off. The systems and everything else have been rolling as this is sent all the way down. Simon will play with the stick and leave it here for Carlo. So 28 shots to 27 in favor of the Stars, but they're down by a goal, 2-1. As this is picked up. Costa has it now. Off of the back pass, so collected himself, trying to play this in between his legs. And now Dallas Stars have enough to try to get this a 3-on-3 the other way. They're able to gain the entry. Smith gets the steal. Craig Smith's been pretty good tonight. As Lindell puts this back around. Here's a slap shot. This goes around the end boards and been fought off by Swayman. As this is picked up in through the middle of the circles now. Left to right go Boston. Again in the road whites with the black pants and mixed with the yellow striping. Victory green for the Dallas Stars and black pants as we get a whistle blown down at 10:15.
I believe there's going to be a penalty on Dallas here to get the official call from our refs. Holding.
Thank you for that, Alec, on that side. Sometimes it doesn't clear fast enough, or you have the Alec vision in front of me, so we're going to get that. And Mason Marchment's going to shake his head, but he's going to serve for 2 minutes.
Yeah, clearly held Pasternak's stick. On Pasternak's side, he almost made another sole effort play. That got shut down by Heiskanen again. These two players matching up evenly well. And for all the elite plays that Pastrnak brings, Heiskanen's doing a good job himself of shutting Pastrnak down.
Yeah, elite offense versus elite defense. Make no mistake about it. All the points that Pasta against Miro Heiskanen is one of the best defenders in the league. Scores! A rebound out in front, and it's the Brad Marchand, 3-1.
This was going to happen if you give Boston too many opportunities on the man advantage. It's no surprise that Marchand right in front of the net to clean out the rubbish. And no doubt, whenever you go to the slide, you're going to bank in rebound goals, especially on backhands. And Ottinger was caught way out of position. He was focusing on that first shot. And at the last moment, it slid to the left of him where Marchand was. And make no mistake, whenever you have a wide open net and you see yourself in an open spot, to see that you have yourself in an open net, you fired that in. 10 times out of 10, that's going in.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying to disrespect the Sam Steele on the penalty kill side, but if you get a rebound out in front and you get post-up position essentially, and it's Brad Marchand versus Sam Steele, who do you think's going to win that matchup?
Yeah, normally it'll be a taller guy, but Marchand, even though he is one of the smaller guys in the NHL, he's still one of the better players in the league, and he knows how to pick up rebounds and put them in. So Marchand has the advantage here.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going for on that side. I wouldn't say getting schooled there, but you kind of feel like he's going to have it in a game like this, as we've hit the halfway marker and Brad Marchand puts his team up by 2. That might be enough for this game to have a final score that's going to go one way for Boston, but we'll see. We're underneath the final 10. It's a 3-1 lead for the Bees.
Dallas, we don't know if they have one last fight in them, and you know they're not going to give up. But Boston is, as you mentioned repeatedly throughout, they're a machine. All things about last year's first round aside, it just doesn't seem to bother them one bit. It feels like they came to the season with a chip on their shoulder, and they have been playing like every game is the biggest game of their lives.
We have so much season to play, and what I'm saying, I'm not writing it as gospel, but I'm thinking it like this. Boston, they know what they wanted to do from last year. I think they are the team that wants to play Vegas in the Stanley Cup final. I was kind of thinking we might see Boston-Vegas last year. Maybe we can get Boston-Vegas now. I know we got so much time left, but Boston and Vegas have looked like the two best teams in both conferences.
While there are no guarantees in anything, yes, we mentioned about Boston and Vegas being the two best teams in their respective conferences, and they're playing like it. Bruce Cassidy's team and his former team.
Right.
Poetic.
It is. And here's a bit of good news. If you're an Oilers fan, you got the first goal of the game. Matthias Ekholm on the power play from Sam Gagne and Evander Kane. And hooray, everybody, some secondary goal scoring.
They need more of this if they want to get it on a consistent basis, because every game can't be Connor and Leon full repeat on it. You need secondary scoring to come up. Even though you lost Queen Costin, even though you don't have Nick Bukestad anymore, you need your others. That means you're bringing the speed from Dylan to Holloway. So like him. And Matthias Ekholm, who has been a mainstay with the Nashville Predators throughout his career before coming over to Edmonton to get one on the power play. He's known for defense, but he can also chip in offense, and that's what they need him for.
Yes, they do. We need any sort of offense, as you said, other than the big names. You've got to be able to get it done. That's what makes complete hockey teams. And Edmonton just find a way to fight their way through it. As we said in the intermission, it was an opportunity for Connor McDavid. He pretty much just called it death by 1,000 cuts. Too many mistakes. You got to clean it up and play better. And they got time to do so. See if they can. As this is picked up under the left side of the boards. Boston has just scored one on the power play. It took pretty much Mason Marchand. He didn't have an opportunity to go sit in the box because by the time he did, the goal was already scored. About 5 seconds, Brad Marchand gets a rebound. Opportunity for Harley. Off the stutter step, plays it in behind the net as Swayman will take a look at it. It seems like when you give somebody like Swayman a 2-goal lead, it might feel like it's over the way that he's been playing. Other than the one unconventional play behind the net where he slept for some unbeknownst reason. I mean, he's been spectacular. And Oettinger hasn't been bad, but yet they find a way to get 3 goals, did the Bruins. As this is picked up now in tight behind the net. This will work in the high slot now into the traffic. This gets blocked. Boston trying to get it out. They can't. I think somebody got a cross-checking call, and this might be against Jamie Benn, and that is not what you want to do. You just gave up one, and now the captaincy goes to the box.
We know about what Jamie Benn did over the playoffs in Game 3, what he did with Mark Stahl. But to cross-check someone in a very crucial situation, and then you try to argue with the referees, well, you know exactly what you did to Parker Wolverspoon. You cross-checked him right in front of Jeremy Swayman and the referee's eyes. That's a no-no here in the National Hockey League, and that will cause a 2-minute sentence to sit down and think about that.
Again, that, and then I'll say for the Mason Marchand penalty, that was a holding of the stick that wasn't even an offensive zone side of it. Those were a couple careless penalties by the Stars, and now all of a sudden, here's another one. Oettinger down, makes the save. Somebody lost their stick shaft. Oettinger lost his stick. A stick is broken as well. There was all sorts of mass humanity there. Swayman will send it back. Boston will get their personnel ready to go one more time. They just scored a power play goal. Pavel Zacha, now for Pasta, gain the entry, keep it off the forehand, send it back to D. But it was a conventional pass, but an unconventional play, and they'll start it again. But again, as Alec had mentioned through the broadcast, I thought it said it beautifully. It's kind of a game of keep away here, and really they got a 2-goal lead, and really in the driver's seat. Kevin Shattenkirk now, former St. Louis Blue, puts us around the end boards. Yanni Hakanpää will spin it around, but Zacha is there to steal. Could this be a short-handed chance? Roope Hintz and alone, stopped by Swayman.
That was very close to a short-handed magic, John. I thought it was the one.
And Wyatt Johnston tried to score a short-handed goal, 2-on-1 cross pass. Where has this been? I guess the Stars don't realize they're on a kill. This is picked up now for Charlie Coyle. And let's see if Jim Montgomery's squad can settle it down. They almost gave up 3 shorthanded chances, Alec.
I'll tell you, this feels like a power kill more than a penalty kill with how it's going.
Charlie Coyle can't find anyone. Again, at least Boston, maybe they're 20 seconds away from not getting scored on, but this power play is anything but a disaster at this point. Charlie Coyle, Morgan Geeky now. Geeky near the right side wall. I'll drop this back. Hampus Lindholm will glove it down. This is played in between the legs of DeBrusque. Now Matthew Poitras. He's been a little quiet in this game as it's recollected by Esa Lindell. It's been a very good kill there for Dallas. Walking for Heiskanen. And he is stopped by Swayman. Boy, has he been good in this game.
With all the shorthanded chances that Boston gave up on this power play opportunity, I knew that Dallas had a little bit of fire in their eyes with how their last as Tony Hill situation went up. It was the third time that they gave up a power play goal when shorthanded, and then they came out fire in their eyes. 3 separate times they could have scored on a shorthanded situation. And Miro Heiskanen almost capped it up after the PK with a near solo effort to the net. This was outstanding work from Dallas, but with Jeremy Swayman in net and this 2-goal deficit, to your point, a 2-goal deficit could feel like a 6-goal deficit.
Yeah, he's absolutely lock and key. And from what we talked about, 3 shorthanded opportunities, Roope Hintz, Wyatt Johnston, and Miro Heiskanen, wrong guys to give it to. Swayman denies them all. And the time is running against the Dallas Stars. They're going to have to pull the netminder pretty soon as we're underneath 6 minutes. It's a 3-1 lead for the Boston Bruins. Brandon Carlo will push this the other way as it's recollected now and across the red line. And picked up by Peter DeBoer's squad. It'll be Harley in full flight now. He's still with it. He gets sticked away near the red line and flipped back by the Bruins. Again, you can feel free and easy when Jeremy Swayman is playing like this. And again, you have Linus Ullmark and Swayman playing at a high level. As Alex said, it really does feel unfair, but that is what the Boston Bruins have. Here's an opportunity now. Power move to the net. This was a pickup for Johnston off of Heiskanen's skate blade. And now the Boston Bruins, they could have something with a 3-on-2. Charlie Coyle cross pass a little bit too far. This will allow the Dallas Stars to pick it up off the ricochet as we're underneath the final 5. Dallas needs 2 goals. I'm getting to Donov now. This gets bounced off away from Sagan, sent back down by Essa. This will pick it up for Dodonov. Sam Steele has it. He'll send it to the net. Swayman cancels it off. This will fall back to Swayman. His defenseman tried to play it back to him, but it bounced. He had to pick it up. We'll go to break.
You know, all the losses that Boston had on defense between Charlie McAvoy, Matt Grzelcyk, Derek Forbort, and with them rising occasion with the call-ups of Mason Lohrei, Parker Robertson, and Ian Mitchell, every one of them has responded and are up to the challenge. Especially Lohrei, who has looked like he's in Ohio State form. The Big Ten showing out for the Bruins between Lohrei and Johnny Beecher.
Yeah, because we talked about the goaltenders, and you just mentioned that. I mean, the forwards playing at a high level, the youngsters, the goaltenders playing at a high level, the defense still finding a way to get it done despite missing big pieces. Make no mistake about it. How are they in sync this well so early?
Who knows? But perhaps this may be the benefit of the Montgomery system in Boston, that he's coaching these players at a high pace and a high level. That's what he did last year with the last year of Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. And it feels like with how Matt Patra and Johnny Beecher playing, they may have found themselves their next core. I'm not saying they're the next Bergeron or Krejci because that would be a high praise for them, but it feels like this, they're playing at the level that Bergeron and Krejci have last played at.
Yeah, and if they could beat, I'll just say it to you like this, if they can beat NHL locks and stay with the big club, that's just probably more than the Boston Bruins could ever expect at this point.
It's just more than what they could have expected because, you know, the most dangerous teams in the league are teams that go into the season without expectations. We didn't know what to expect of the Bruins heading into the season because they lost a lot of offensive talent and they're coming into the year with a chip on their shoulder. They're responding in kind and getting off to the best start in franchise history.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I know people can look at it from the onset and say, what are you guys doing underselling the Bruins? We're not. They weren't supposed to do that last year. They definitely weren't supposed to do this year. They've just been a regular season machine, and hopefully they can get away from the narrative with the Toronto Maple Leafs are when you just say, wake me up when it's postseason time, because all their big aspirations are for the summer months. But again, we got a long way to go. We're just really starting the 23-24 NHL regular season. 4:15 left to go in the third. As this is sent back down, Jake Oettinger will play it again. It's worth repeating that Jake Oettinger's had a pretty good night night and net tonight. But again, Boston's just kind of shut down the time and space, and Swayman has been brilliant on this side. He's got outplayed a little bit. As this is picked up, glove down, stick down, I should say, as Dallas will put this back around the inboards. They've got the press now. Mason Marchand will put this in between one of the Bruins' legs, but it'll work as a clear, and Dallas will have to start again for the neutral zone. Here's Harley. Pick it up across the red line now. Hakanpää gets canceled off the puck as Boston has it now. Charlie Coyle, excellent work. He's just killing time in between. 4 stars as the clock continues to bleed down and the Stars are up against it. They need 2 goals. Again, that Brad Marchand power play goal. Again, when it went 3-1, Alec and I were kind of thinking this game might be done with the way Swayman's playing. Stars have had some buzz in the third period, but now they're up against it here. Morgan Geekie off the spin. And Wyatt Johnston trying to knock this away. Dallas trying to go right to left. It's a 2-on-2. Essen Lindell the trailer. As this is picked up to Donov off the drop. Couple of stick battles, centered out in front, but Boston is there with a stick to sweep it away. Somebody doesn't have a twig, as this can't be held in by Suter. 2:50 left to go in this third. As this is picked up here for Wyatt Johnston, will push it in. Tyler Seguin trying to make something happen. Again, Seguin and Benn have been very quiet. And again, for their contract talks as the years go along, once that money gets freed up, Dallas and Jim Nill can do a lot of other things that they want to as well, because that's about $22 million between 2 players. 2:25 left to go in the third. Ottinger has left the goal crease. Boston already up by 3. Lindholm will send it down. This will be a race. Boston might get to this first. Again, Ottinger vacated the goal crease. Robertson trying to push the other way on a 6-on-5. Dallas needs a couple. Roope Hintz off the drop for Jopa. Trying to find Robertson, but it goes too far. Flipped down the ice, but it bounced off one of the Dallas defensemen. As we're only 2 minutes. 3-1 is the goals. Jamie Benn has it now. Boston has the lead. As this is picked up near the right side red line. Can't get it out. Stars will fire it at the net, and they will recollect. There's opportunity for Heiskanen. Heiskanen now near the right side blue line. Robertson will funnel it at the net, and a whistle is blown with 1:39.
Desperation time has really settled in for Dallas. So at this point, if you want to wonder if Peter DeBoer is going to use a timeout, he has to use it now, because you're down by 2 and you're up against the hottest goaltender in the league, bar none.
Yep. Yeah, you are. And you're good call on the timeout, because if I'm Dallas, again, we talked about how goal scoring is not one of their strengths so far early in the year. It's a little bit of a surprise, but yes, they are missing some pieces, but you have to double shift Roope Hintz, Jason Robertson, and Joe Pavelski. You have no other choice.
Yeah, you have to go to your main guys. Get Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski out on the ice, and then get your other forwards out there. Haskins has the sixth forward de facto, because he's a defenseman that plays like a forward, and then say, how about Jamie Benn and Wyatt Johnston out there? And even though Ben has been quiet, you got to get Johnston up there with the big boys for clutch situations like these. You don't have Matt Duchene at your disposal, so now you have to turn to Ben and Johnston as your extra forwards on the extra attacker situation.
Yeah.
Now you're down by 2 goals. You need 2 of them fast. You have no other choice.
No, you don't. And Wyatt Johnston is made for some big moments. Again, a Game 7 against the Seattle Kraken, where he ended up getting a game winner to have the Dallas Stars move on to play the Vegas Golden Knights when they lost in 6. So he's able to do those kinds of things. But Dallas needs 2 goals before a minute 39 ticks on the clock in the third. They're down 3-1. The net is empty. Jake Ottinger's at the crease. Dallas does win the draw. Opportunity now for Heiskanen. This is shot at the net, but this is blocked. Boston will able to successfully get this out of the neutral zone. Miro has it. 1:25 left to go in the third. Here's a short little shovel pass, but Dallas has to retreat. Robo is taking a little bit too much time here as they're trying to set up. Miro Heiskanen now. He fans on it in a really bad spot. This is going to be shot in toward the net. This will go wide. Marchand almost had like a wide open opportunity, as it was pretty much fanned for no reason. And this is picked up by Dallas. This is just killing too much time. They haven't even got an entry yet. and now they're offsides. My goodness.
This has been a bad sequence of possession for the Dallas Stars. You're down, you know the situation. You're down by 2. For what reason are you killing out so much time when you need 2 goals and quickly here, especially on the hottest goaltender in the league?
This looks like the situation yesterday between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys when they didn't clock it and took too much time and lost the game.
It feels so similar to that. It's like the hockey version of that game. It's like the Dallas Cowboys all over again.
48 seconds left to go in the third. I thought I had to throw that out there. It feels apropos. Here's a rush. This one gets blocked. Dallas down to 40 seconds. And Boston's got it. They'll shovel this off the backhand. This is a great clear. This will go all the way down the ice. It'll be ice, but Boston doesn't care about that at this point.
You know, without her protecting this lead, you know how Boston's been playing along. They're gonna, if they ice this puck, it's not gonna matter much with the way that they're playing.
No.
Defensively, they're playing a clean defensive game. Not a lot of mistakes, and they're closing off the lanes that Dallas is looking for.
So Johnny Beecher is going to get an opportunity here to win a draw. This will go back. Heiskanen, he's got it. Dallas has to get something at the net, and they do. They score off the wall. My goodness, it's 3-2, and that escalated quickly.
Oh, they needed this one badly. I mean, this was just a little flicker along the wall at the right point. Just a simple shot from Jason Robertson. And just seeing that shot, it looked like it went off a pinball machine. I don't know if Joe Pavelski did his usual thing of deflecting pucks in, but it appears that he did. The man has done it again.
I'm going to say this. He is a tip god, Joe Pavelski. There is nobody better in the league than Joe Pavelski. You want to learn how to deflect the puck, just go ask Joe. It's a 1-goal game.
If you need deflection goals, who are you going to call? Joe Pavelski. I was about to make a Ghostbusters
yes.
Joke, but who are you going to call? Pavelski!
That had a lot. I mean, come on. He tipped that from the left circle.
Yeah, all the way out. And are we getting a challenge here? If this was played from a high stick, I believe Jim Montgomery is challenging this.
This would be the only thing I can imagine, Alec, if it is played with a high stick, because there really is nothing else you can challenge at this point.
Yeah, there's nothing else that you can challenge because there's no offside in the play. The only question is if it's a high stick. If it fails, this is big because all of a sudden the momentum could shift back to Dallas' side this late in the game. But Boston has been shutting down Dallas on the lanes here. And if this challenge fails, you're giving Dallas a 6-on-4.
Yeah, Alec, I'm glad you said that because I'm thinking about this too. And Boston's got the lead, and it's under 30 seconds. Don't you think they should just be able to kill it? I mean, this is a critical call here. We'll get the definitive one. It counts as a goal, and now Boston has to kill another penalty. This could be a disaster.
Oh, no. This is something that they do not want here. I get the logic behind Jim Montgomery. That was the only thing legitimately that they could challenge. And now if that doesn't go to fruition, they need to kill off a 6-on-4.
So here we go. This is a lot more intrigue than I would have expected. Empty net pull. Joe Pavelski gets a tip goal. Dallas, 18 seconds, trying to gain the entry here. All of a sudden, we have a 1-goal game. Dallas needs to get some chances. Here's a tripping, a drive to the net. And Dallas trying to find it. Boston trying to locate it. And it's going to be a 6-on-4.
Oh my! It appears there's going to be a
6-on-3.
6-on-3. You're asking me, not a Jamie Benn got tripped. There's no time to waste because Memphis went home with the second penalty of his night, and this could be a killing blow if it comes to them. They're going to get lit onto the bottom.
if Jim Montgomery has a timeout, I know there's 6 seconds. You feel like he almost has to use it because they're going to limp their way to the final. I mean, this is something that just exploded out of nowhere. It was 40 seconds left, and Dallas down by 2. All of a sudden, they're only down 1, and now again it's a 6-on-3. And yeah, they are using the timeout, so at least I got that one correct. They just have to control themselves, Boston.
Yeah, just calm the nerves of your players. Just calm them down as they get set here for perhaps what could be the defining face-off in this game. You need to kill off 5 seconds if you're Boston, but if you're Dallas, desperation time has settled in. You need to win this face-off and then get a set play off. Don't go for the quick passes. You need to shoot that thing right away.
Get the draw and fire it in. That's the only thing. If you were walking away from a minute just to use the bathroom, whatever, and you walk back in and said, "What just happened?" Well, we're asking ourselves the same thing here with 5 seconds, a little bit more left to go. Jamie Benn's got to win the draw, and something's got to happen for Heiskanen or Robo. That's where they're going to want to put this now, preferably Robo with the left-handed shot for a one-time fire. And who is going to get kicked out of the draw? Or are we just going to do it again? This is big. It's Charlie Coyle against Jamie Benn. So Dallas has a chance. Benn's going to get kicked out of the draw. So this has to be one here for Roope Hintz. He's pretty good at it. Coyle wins a huge face-off. Boston's going to kill some time. And Dallas just goes off the post, but the game is over. The Boston Bruins win 3-2. And what a final we just had.
This could have been going even more bonkers had this one going off the inside the post and in. What a bonkers finish we had here, John. Between this and the goal-getting duel, Jeremy Swayman and Jake Ottinger just catching the outside.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness, indeed. I can't just chuckle all we want. And even though the Vancouver Canucks have won 3 straight, this focus here is about this Bruins finish because what did we just see in the end? With Dallas on a late deflection, and then the Bruins committing 2 late penalties, one on a Middletown, the other on a trip, and then this to happen. Oh, this could have been even more bonkers if we actually got overtime with 2 goals in the final minute for Dallas. But man, this was an outstanding game and a well-played clash among Titans.
Yeah, man, I'm glad that we got a chance to cover this. I would have felt bad if this one was a stinker because we had a couple one-goal games beside that. But this might be the game of the night on that side. And between the Bruins and the Stars, the Bruins improved to 10-1-1 on the season. The Dallas Stars fall to 7-4-1. Again, Alec and I will be in touch probably sometime next week because I have a weekend assignment as well. But I'm really glad they were able to join me for this one. Again, these are 2 teams. I'll say this after tonight, I still feel the same way that I did about them going in. I think we will see both of these guys in the playoffs. I absolutely enjoyed that matchup, and hopefully we'll get another one just as good by the time we go again next week.
All right, it was fun tonight, John.
All right, I'll talk to you, my friend. We'll be in contact soon.
Okay, good night, everyone.
The words in your head, you're the only one that can hear them. Say it. Yes.
Well, that game really got wild at the end, but the Boston Bruins were able to hold on to a 3-2 victory. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Red Wings and the Rangers. I think Cooper Hopkins will be with me on the Thursday side in between the Avs and the Kraken. So I will see you tomorrow for Red Wings, Rangers, and Original 6 matchup. Peace.